This is a Dice Legends channel, but we've got a bunch of guests that we're going to introduce you to in a moment. But before we do that, I just wanted to say my name is Vahid. I am usually the DM for Dice Legends, but not for today.
Taking his power.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And now it's time to throw to our guests. And for that, we're going to throw to Robert Hartley, DM.
Hello, hello. And DM is correct for today anyway.
Sorry,
I've stolen your seat.
GM.
I've stolen your seat. So welcome everybody to my version of what's happening in Aratai, also known as in another corner of Aratai. So I will be I'll be DM for today, guest DM for the channel. I'm joined by 3 others that couldn't unfortunately be here in person because of the fact that the world is so big, and they couldn't commit themselves to thousands of dollars on a plane flight. I mean, where's the commitment?
Selfish.
Where's the commitment?
Look, we flew out.
I'm joined by, I don't know what the order is of the people that you're seeing, so I'll just introduce them in any old order. We'll start with Dorktales. We'll start with Kelly from Dorktales. Who are you, Kelly? Where people know you from? I've kind of given the game away a little bit.
That's fair. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm from Dorktales. And tonight, should I be introducing the character?
You can say what you are, yeah.
All right. Tonight, I am playing Hercule Fernwood, who is a halfling fighter.
Excellent.
Ooh.
And Robin, you're also from Dorktales. Where do people? Is there anything else that people might know you from, or is that what you're most known for? Is there like handles you want to plug or anything?
I'll just plug Dorktales. I'm gonna be 2nd gen gamer in the chat, so if you see that is me. But yeah, you can find me on Dorktales.
And who are you playing today?
I am playing Isabel Chaoswin.
You got no one to blame but yourself.
You chose the name.
I chose a really hard name to say. Whoops.
That's what happens when you name
fine.
yourself with Scrabble tiles.
Yeah.
It's true.
Just press boggle down a couple of times and then see what comes up. All right, and then our other guest. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say she is a elf rogue.
An elven rogue. And our last guest for the day, joining us all the way from Perth, Australia, Dead Aussie Gamer. What do people know you from?
Hello! People know me from, if you haven't seen me on Robert's stuff, I do my own things at Dead Aussie Gamer, where I play all kinds of TTRPGs. It's great being here. It's a lot of fun. And today I am playing Roswin Jasluntal, a person whose song and soul beats with the very heart of the city.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
wow, indeed.
And then, of course, we cannot forget the people who are able to join me in the studio for this game, Vahid and Raylene. Who are you playing today? You go.
Oh, me first? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Raylene, and today I usually play Hakapella, level 6 Bard Dwarf, in the our actual Dice Legends world, but today I play Yuka Vartamana, who is a human monk. And that's all I'll say.
Nice.
And kia ora, my name is Vahid. I'm sometimes sitting in this spot that Rob is sitting in. But today, I am playing the battle-hardened fighter, a human fighter named Takir.
Ooh.
Expert with a bow.
All right, so I think introductions are done. Let's crack into it, shall we?
I think we should.
I think it's time that we roll the
titles!
Do you have any, squid rings?
We're back in. Sorry, we have just a note from our sound guy. What was that?
Can Robin bring your mic up anymore?
Robin, can you bring your mic up
Yes.
at all?
I can do that.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, there we go. How is that? Louder?
Luca has given you the
Good?
thumbs up.
Great.
I like Luca.
We're good. All right,
I hope
enough.
you heard this.
Shut up.
Oh,
6 weeks until Queen's Day. Already people are arriving in droves.
okay.
Caravans, traders, merchants, tourists, and no doubt, Gulm spies. We need to stay ever vigilant and aware. While I don't want to hear any reports of my guards harassing the outsiders, I also don't want to hear any reports of our own Aratai citizens feeling harassed by those outsiders. You understand me?
Understand.
So be present, be visible, make it known what our laws are, but be lenient with first offenders. Assume the benefit of the doubt, but make it clear that there'll not be a second warning. Am I being clear? As Sergeant Torrin looks around the Eastgate guardhouse at the assembled town guards, you do the same. You see Gomez smoking his pipe, shining his shoes, the smell of tobacco and polish mingling unpleasantly with the smell of whatever hot food is being served up in the open plan kitchenette behind. Yusin, a friend of yours from military days, sits at attention nearby, tutting impatiently at the young, fresh-faced Ryan, who, getting used to his new chain shirt, keeps fidgeting noisily. You can tell from Yusin's military background that he does not appreciate the show of disrespect to the sergeant to make so much noise while he's speaking. And Condu Locks, ever distrusting, stands against the far wall, eyes narrowed in Hercule's direction. Finally, your eyes land on each of you in turn. Can you please describe what the others are looking at? Vahid, we'll start with you.
Okay, so Takir is well-groomed. He's got a well-groomed beard, whereas Fairley's, he takes care of his uniform, right? Military man, has an erect bearing.
Yes, very much similar to Yusin as well. Yeah. You both served in the same military and have this same air about you of somebody who still keeps that within themselves. Stiff rod up the back.
Exactly. And Takir knows that when a superior officer is talking, you shut your mouth. So he's doing that and just has his long bow in front of him and is
paying attention. Nearby is...
Yuka stands nearby, and you see her holding her spear. And she has trained since childbirth as in her monastery, the Kulahata, and she has been disciplined very well, so it's very rare that she will act on impulse. She has long, dark, midnight blue hair that's tied up, and she's quite simple. She doesn't rely on the feeble materialismness of the world, you know. So she stands calmly and listens to her superior, is ready for any assignment.
Not far away is an elven bard, Roswin. What do you look like?
Well, Roswin is quite a dashing high elven man. He seems to always wear a small flourish of makeup over his otherwise very proper uniform, but he does like to add a bit of razzle-dazzle here and there. After all, one can't be seen protecting the people while looking like a scruffy pancake herder. Yes. So he has long, flowing hair, and of course the tribal tattoo marks of his kindred people. He likes to remind people that as long as he remains vigilant within the city, there is nothing to fear. As flawless as his complexion, as too is the flawless protection of the city streets before him.
Wow.
Very good indeed. And also gathered among you in this guardhouse, Ilsevel.
I think Isabel, was the most kind of high elf pronunciation I was thinking of.
All right, so Isabel. What do people see when they look at you?
So Isabel also is a high elf, so has that somewhat natural poise of an elf. Her hair is long and flowing, but it is tied back in a ponytail that is kind of hidden under maybe a traditional uniform, but maybe slightly darker colors to it. She is more of a shadows kind of military armor, maybe, you know, something on the equivalent of more of a like Black Ops side. Wearing again, tight uniform with two custom daggers that she have like beautiful like red metal almost infused to it, and a rapier on her side, and she's just kind of standing silent at attention with a slight brooding
As you brood, as Sergeant Torrin continues speaking, there's more clattering of the metal as Ryan is adjusting it and can't quite sit straight. And the camera, as it were, passes over Ryan to Hercule. What does Hercule look like?
Well, Hercule is 9 feet of personality and a 3-foot-tall body. He wears freshly oiled and repaired armor, as well as a rapier that dangles at his hip that's seen, well, at least an encounter or two. Besides that, he also has a finely groomed mustache that he's recently re-dyed a bright electric pink. Which I have allowed myself a prosthetic for this night.
Helps him to stand out in the streets of Aratai. Very few have bright electric pink mustaches. It makes you very identifiable. Who was it? Did he have any identifying qualities? Yeah, he was about this tall, and let me think. He had a bright pink mustache. So as the camera passes over you, it passes back to the sergeant droning on, and we tune back into what he's saying, just as he's sort of wrapping up. All right then. So your shift begins now. You'll be relieved by the dawn patrol. Don't forget to claim your meal pass before you leave. Oh, and someone left their water skin and mess kit in the canteen earlier. Please be more careful with your town-issued belongings. We're stretched for budget already without you going around leaving things everywhere. The guards begin to push their chairs back and stand up, adjusting their various weapons and armor, heading to the armory of the guardhouse to claim their personal weapons before heading out into the east ward of Aratai. Yusin approaches you. Takir, was it?
Takir.
Takir, he says, evening, Takir.
Hey,
how are you?
Oh, so good. Fresh air.
Do you wish to patrol together tonight?
Well, old time's sake. It'd be great to be with you again. Of course, come on.
Of course. Sergeant Torrin overhears this and says, excellent, I was going to suggest, Hercule, you should go with these two as well. There's been some thugs vandalizing Leonard Hardale's glassblowing shop, and he's been for a few days now asking for protection. I've said I'll send someone over that way to sort of just be in the area. Ilsaval, Roswin, Yuka, I think the three of you need to head over to Wallace Feed's cartography shop. The complaint about the sturges is back in the rafters, and I could do with somebody dealing with it. I know it's not urgent, but getting him off my back would be appreciated.
You can count on us.
So the two parties of three, you can't split the party if the DM splits it for you. The two parties of three set off on your walk into the night air. As you walk the roads of the East Ward, slightly livelier than you might expect for so late into the night. It seems some of the bars are staying open a little later to make the most of some of the new outsiders bringing cash into the city in the weeks leading up to Queen's Day. The six of you are heading in the same direction at first, walking the winding sort of cobbled streets around the wall towards the north of the Eastgate Guardhouse. On the way, you might witness a bit of drunken argument about to turn into a street brawl, and the offenders see you coming and sort of disperse before it becomes a thing. A couple of just like everyday things, a couple of people asking you directions, or like trying to get a little over familiar with you, or friends of yours that you may be familiar with inviting you to drink, but you're on duty, so you have to turn them down. After a 10-minute walk or so, the two groups of your three split ways, one heading towards the cartographer's shop and the other towards the glassblowers. So we're going to start with the people dealing with the sturges in the cartographer shop. We're not going to deal with this as a combat, we're going to deal with this as a skill challenge. So for the three of you dealing with the sturges, that was whichever ones I said, Ilsaval, Roswin and Yuka. I want you to describe for me something that you do to either find or dispose of or keep yourself safe from the sturges. Those of you who don't know, sturges are like overgrown mosquitoes. Think about a mosquito the size of a cat. They will attach to you and suck the blood to the point where you will die. They're relatively easy to deal with after a certain level. You guys are level 3 town guards, you're well equipped, so you're likely to come into some problem with them, but they're not exactly a huge threat as long as you're smart about it. So tell me, describe something. Any one of the three of you, describe a skill that you do to try and overcome this situation.
Well, I would like to propose that, in addition to the fact that I don't do bugs, I would like to find a very large receptacle made of glass, blown here by the fine glass blowers of the city.
Well, you're at the cartographer shop, so that's going to be harder to do.
I would like to find a large scroll case that happens to be made of glass, and
large glass scroll case.
And I would also like to find, upon yon wall, a large scroll. Then what I would like to do is place yon cap on Sturge.
Just doing a
Very
mosquito
carefully.
capture thing.
Slide the paper beneath the glass.
to a massive cat-sized mosquito that's going to jump in
then-
your face.
And then take this outside and promptly go, "Ah!" and throw it into the street.
All right. So that is going to be an animal handling check, I think. Can you roll me an animal handling check and let me see what the DC for this is going to be? Okay.
DC 2, I would greatly appreciate that.
what was your check?
Oh, that's not bad. That is an 18.
18 beats the DC. You managed to start dealing with some of the sturge problem, getting outside to release one. The other two that are with Roswin notice that there is another one landed on his back and has now started to try and make its way through his paladin armor, just poking and probing with its proboscis, trying to find a way in.
See? Just like that, everyone. It's easy.
As the other one you just released flies off down the street and immediately latches onto a drunken guy stumbling out of a bar nearby.
Excellent. Good policing.
Yeah.
It's clearing his alcohol content.
We switch from there over to the other three approaching the glass blowers. That was Hercule, Takir, and Yusuf. Yusuf? Something like that. Yusin. You're approaching the glass blowers shop. You're doing a little bit of a circuit around it. Once or twice you've passed now. Before on the third turn past, you hear a loud sound of something cracking against something else, and as you turn the corner, you see a group of 3 children, like little hoodlums, little kids that seem like maybe they're just bored and looking for something to do. They've got a large rock and they're trying to hit the padlock off of the front of the glassblower's shop. What do you do?
I say there. What are you doing?
You call this out, and they look through the darkness. They see this bright pink mustache in the darkness, and they say, "It's the guards! Run!" And the 3 of them set off running. This is going to be for you guys a chase scene.
Hey!
All right, so
Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything.
so as the 3 kids run off ahead of you and down the streets, 2 of you, Hercule excluded, are much larger and have longer legs than these kids, and so maybe at a bit of an advantage here.
Yes.
So I want you to roll me I'm trying to remember how it is that because I've basically taken some of your chase scene things and I've put them in my games, and I'm really enjoying the rules that you use as well.
Yeah.
All right. So firstly, it's going to be an athletics check just from everybody involved.
Okay.
I'm rolling for both the kids and for Yusin.
Come on, baby.
All right.
Daddy's good at.
Ooh.
Takir gets a 23.
Oh, nice.
Fit.
Here is
Fit.
off. The kids are not quite ahead of you with. Well, they're still ahead of you. They got the head start, but they got an 18. They're doing very well with theirs. Yusin seemingly taking a little bit aback. Was a little bit caught with his pants down, so to speak. Had only a 14. And then Hercule, what'd you get in your athletics?
Match them with an 18.
All right, so you're keeping pace. You're starting to gain on them just a little, and Yusin is just a square or 2 behind. We're going to swap back to the Sturges.
Okay.
Come on, Yusin.
One of the people who haven't done a check. What are you going to do? Describe a thing that you do.
Yuka does not believe in killing. Every life on Earth deserves to live, and she believes in words. So she holds it.
It always unsettles me when you say this
Reach
while
out to
looking
grab
at
it by the wings.
By the wings
Awesome.
with strong arms, strong hand, and she holds it and she looks at it and she says, "That's not very nice."
Fantastic.
And I tell it to say sorry.
This is going to be an athletics check because you are trying to grapple this thing. You can, because you're a monk, you can make it a dexterity-based athletics. If you are proficient in athletics, you get to add a proficiency bonus. Otherwise, it's just
I
a
do
straight.
have a proficiency bonus.
You are awesome. Probably you're going to get stabbed in the face, I think, with a 3.
All right.
Or was it a 3 plus
3 plus 2. Oh, 3 plus 3, 6.
6? All right, and you're proficient in athletics as well,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So another 2. So
Another 2.
8. 8 from 5 is not too bad, but it
Okay.
is below average. So you reach out because it's a grapple. I'm gonna make it a contested check from the Sturge's point of view. 18 on the dice. So you reach out to grab it, you're just a little too late, it just comes flying past. That is one fail on the skill check, and you take 3 points of piercing damage as it stabs you pretty squarely in the collarbone and starts to drain blood. All right.
Oh no, there you go.
We swap from that one over to the chase scene. Okay, so the kids have started to round corners now, and as you chase round the corner after them, you see that they have tipped over some alleyway detritus. There is some boxes and things out in your way. This is no longer athletics, this is going to be an acrobatics check to see if you can get over this thing, vault it, and keep moving.
Follow my lead! Parkour!
All right, Hercule, what was yours?
No, 20!
Net 20! Okay!
So that's a 20, that's a 25.
A 25. All right, Yusin only gets Yusin only gets a 10, and Takir
8.
An 8. Thankfully, the kids did not do well either. So after they tipped over all of the boxes, some of them actually collapsed and hit their ankles and and so they've slowed themselves down a little bit for the time it takes to tip the boxes. It hasn't actually slowed anyone down, but there's also been no gaining on in this turn, except for Hercule, who's made up for the fact that you had little legs and has now caught up to Takir. So you're making up for it. Whoosh. We swap back to the Sturges. Who have we not heard from? We've got Ilseval.
I think Isabel's just gonna just be standing there in the shadows and roll her eyes just a little bit, and she's going to be like, the only way to deal with bloodsuckers is to take some blood of your own, and she would like to just try and chuck a dagger at it and
all right, so this is not combat per se, but it's going to be sort of abstracted by one combat roll. So just give me one combat roll, and we will see if this works for you.
13 plus 5, that's going to be an 18.
18 is one success on this skill check. You have achieved 2 successes out of 3, which is what you needed to rid this cartography shop of its sturges. So you, through a means of capturing them in a giant glass with some scroll paper and releasing them outside, getting stabbed in the face and just running around as a distraction, and then getting knives thrown at them. You've managed to, in a rather slapstick fashion, rid Wally of his sturge problem. Back over to the chase scene. You are starting to get into a bit of a plaza situation, and the kids, being smart about not being chased by all as one group, have split up into 3.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be down to you guys to decide what role to give me. And that will tell me who you go, whether you're trying to do something that will somehow get them all back together, or whether you're just going to all focus on one. What is a skill that you can give me that would aid you in this situation?
On an insight roll to see which one of them seems to be the leader. Which one told them to
all
split
right,
up.
Great one. Make me an insight check.
That's a great 11.
An 11. Harder to tell because of your training. I'm going to have you got proficiency in insight already?
No.
No, I'm going to add your proficiency though because of your training.
Cool, that makes it
militaristic.
13.
So with a 13, I'm going to say that you see that there is one kid in a green cloak that seems a little bit nicer than the others. So he probably is the one who's a bit more in charge because he's the one who probably gets anything that they nab. And he's gone straight on. The other 2 have split off on either side of it.
So I'll bark in a military way. I say, straight through, get the leader.
All right. And then Hercule, what are you doing?
Well, I have my orders, sir. I'm gonna charge and try to tackle him.
All right. You do so. Make me a grapple check, so an acrobatics check.
Okay.
This is going to both abstract both whether you can catch up to him and whether you can actually grab a hold of him.
So that's gonna be, with my bonus, an 18.
Oh,
Whoa.
18, all right.
You're
I'm going to just give him a
It's
chance
acrobatics.
to, with a 2, he does not. So you managed to not only catch up to him, but also spear tackle right down on front. Yusin, seeing this, is going to see that one's already gone for. He was on the right-hand side as this one peeled off, so he feels he's got a chance to go for that one. Oh yes, he is with it. That's a dirty 20 on his athletics check. He's going to catch up to the other one as it peels into an alleyway. You now have one final chance. You've seen that one's been got. Yusin's gone for that one and has pretty much caught up.
Oh, I might as well give it a go.
Going for the other one?
The one that, I'll leap at
so
him.
you're going that way, but then Hercule Describe how, Hercule, with your tiny little legs, how do you both overtake both of the military men and manage to not only do that, but catch up to the kid who is running through an open plaza? Do you like jump off of something? Are you swinging from something?
He's running between legs.
Yeah, there's a couple of drunkards like stumbling around and you're picking and choosing your path through them.
Excuse me, pardon me. Coming through!
The kid, however,
Make a path!
actually taller than you, is a little more obstructed by people's legs. And so you manage to catch up to him and dive down. You see this as Hercule just kind of shoots off between legs. You suddenly change your mind, go for the one on the right, on the left, sorry. Roll me one more athletics check.
Come on, baby.
Catch up to her.
Athletics. That's a much better roll. That is a 14.
14, all right. Contested check from her, 7. So you managed to start to catch up with her as well. As you manage to grab her by the back of the coat there, she pulls back and cries out, "Ah, no, don't hurt me! What do you do?
I say, no, gonna hurt you.
He's kidnapping me! She starts shouting out.
Don't
He's
be
kidnapping me! And people start to turn around as if they're going to intervene. Immediately see your town guard uniform and bloody
and
vandals.
I just drag her over to her other two grabbed companions.
You drag her over just as Hercule. You're what are you just sitting on top of this kid, or because this
basically
kid, this
see,
kid
the problem
could
is you should have used.
He could potentially overpower you if you're not careful. So what's your plan of attack?
My plan. Hercule's plan of attack is that if he tries to overpower me, then he shall try to overpower me, but I have the moral high ground, so it shouldn't happen.
The kid, having been spear tackled to the ground, is a little dazed. His head's hit some cobble, but he does try and push himself back up. You're grabbing him.
The kid, you should have zagged when you zigged. Sorry.
Oh, get off me! Get off me! Oh, I didn't do nothing. And just as this is being said, the other one is dragged over.
But, my boy, if you didn't do nothing, then that means you did something by the properties of a double negative.
What? Oh, shut up!
Exactly.
Shut up, loser! This one's doubling down on his impetuousness. You become aware, though, conspicuously, that Yusin has not returned with his quarry.
Uh-oh.
And just as you started looking over the alleyway that he ran down, you hear him call out in pain.
Uh-oh. All right.
What do you do?
Takir.
Yes.
What shall we do?
Hercule, have you got these? You just hold on to these.
I think I can.
You can handle them?
Absolutely, sir. I believe I can hang on to a couple of rapscallions.
Great. I pull out my short sword and start carefully walking towards briskly, but carefully. I want to be looking around.
Perceptive as you can be. Yes. You easily make it to the start of the alleyway, and you can see down the far end of it that it seems like it's a dead end. There are a number of boxes around, crates and things, and there's a drain pipe or two, so it would be theoretically possible to get up onto the roof if you were quick and nimble enough. But you can see two figures down the end there, and you don't have dark vision, do you?
No.
Can you make me a perception check, please? With dark vision, it would have been an automatic success, but without...
A 7.
A 7. Hard to tell from here. You're going to have to get into the alleyway to see properly what's going on.
Okay, I'll say... I'll just call out, first of all, Yusin, you okay?
You hear no response.
I say, Hercule, we got something more important to deal with. Let those...
Yeah, let go!
All right, run along. Don't do it again. Pip, pip. And I'll give him a little You're the loser, but fine. Today you shall live to lose another day. I'm coming to
you let go, and instantly they disappear into the crowd. You set off towards
going to be all right.
Your colleague, and then head down the alleyway together.
Yeah.
Very quickly, it becomes apparent in the very dim light of the night that it is Yusin that is face down on the ground at the end, and another of the guards from the townhouse, Ryan, who is seemingly up against the wall in his almost seated position, slumped forwards, and no sign of the other kid.
Yusin, this is no time for a nap. Yusin?
All right.
No response.
I want to stop walking, hold out my hand to stop Hercule for a second, and I just want to really carefully look around. I want to try perceptionizing one more time.
Yeah, because you are taking a moment to do so, you can do so with advantage.
18.
With an 18, okay. You can see there is you're probably about 40 feet away still, but you can see that there is a lot of dark puddle around Yusin's body. You immediately get the impression that Yusin is bleeding quite profusely. You can also see that Ryan has some blood on the back of his head and there is a similar smear of blood on the wall beside him. It looks like his head has been cracked into the wall. They're far enough apart that they probably weren't involved in a tussle together. It seems like perhaps a third party has done this. You look up to see the roof. Nothing's up there. You don't see anybody peering over the edge, or you don't hear anybody running across the slates or anything.
Okay, so if I'm sure that, because one of the things is you don't just rush in.
Don't just rush into danger, no.
That's right. If it's a trap, if there's something else going on.
Yeah.
So now that I've ascertained that there doesn't need to be any danger, I say, Hercule, I'm not trained in medicine. I'm hoping that you are. And I just rush to Yusin as fast as I can, sheathing my sword.
You sheath your sword. As you do so, you get there and you can see that there is a short sword lying beside him, covered in his blood, and there is a large wound on the back that is currently just seeping with blood.
Oh my. Allow me to assist, Takir. I am not particularly well trained in the arts of medicine, but I will do my best.
I will tell you some things that you would know just by nature of having history with Yusin. Yusin was military trained. He was strong, quick, hardy, and smart. To get the drop on him would be highly unlikely, especially for a kid that he was chasing. You ascertain from that he must have known the attacker was there and turned his back on him willingly. Turned his back on them.
Right. And the short sword is his standard issue sword?
It seems like it.
Well, we need to try to stop the bleeding.
You do so. Make me a medicine check.
I'm not very good at it. I'm hoping, Hercule, that you're better than me.
I have a +0. Let's try.
Oh, well, I'm better than you.
Then I shall assist.
Natural 20!
Well, that is a great time to roll it, because you can ascertain without a shadow of a doubt that you cannot stop this bleeding. He is dead.
He's dead.
Unfortunately, he's lost so much blood, and the blood that you can see is just being slowly sort of pumped out as you get there. The pumping stops and the heart goes still. It is much too much of a wound. I will say with your natural 20 though that you can tell from that the wound is a single wound. It was very quick and precise, and it seems the work of someone who is trained to know how to kill someone with a single blow like that. It is also
so it's not like a raking slash.
Not a raking slash. It is a precise stab in and out, and it seems to have punctured his heart immediately. Whatever did it seems to have been trained in doing so, and also trained in the art of taking someone else's weapon to do so. There is a groaning sound from Ryan.
Ryan? Oh, my boy, are you still all right?
You walk over there, and he's just coming to with his hand on the back of his head. What happened?
I was hoping that you could answer that.
I was patrolling in this area of the town, and I saw Yusin run into the alleyway. I thought he could use backup, so I came after him. And then something just hit me from behind. I must have fallen.
Of course. Don't try to get up. You look like you have taken quite a knock.
Takes his hand away and sees the blood.
It's all right. You'll be fine.
Is there just you think we could do with backup?
Well, where are your backup? Takir, how's Yusuf? Or Yusin?
And Takir is just in shock, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, his oldest friend. Right? They trained in the military together. They served for 12 years overseas in much more dangerous places.
They've been in much dire situations than this.
And chasing 3 kids.
Chasing 3 kids is what leads to his death.
And then here he is sitting, lying in a pool of blood. And if we'd been faster, If he had actually just followed the order.
What did it? What was it? He says to you.
Well, we were hoping you saw it.
It hit me from behind. I don't know. Did they get? We need more backup. Is there any other guards in the area?
Were you already in the alley?
Not in the alley. I was in the town square. I was asked to patrol this area because of the bars in the area.
Yes, that's right. You were. We have the other three are very close by.
There are others close. We definitely need backup. Whatever it is, it's in the area and it moves fast. I didn't hear it coming up behind me. It must be something more than just.
Can I ask? Can we see? There's a lot of blood around. Footprints.
You can see that the blood that was that came from Yusin seems to have sprayed in a sort of towards the left-hand side and has sprayed across the wall of whatever the back of this building is. It seems again like a part of the training of whatever it was that Yusin was turned as the blade was retrieved from it, so as to not spray whoever the attacker was, whatever the attacker was, with its own blood. The blood that has come that is pulled from Yusin is mainly just around his body, and so there's no bloody footprints leading from it.
I think we need to get the others. I think we need to get Yuka, Ilsavel, and Rosalind.
Yes, she's new.
Yeah, they're close by. Hopefully, we can track this thing. Thing.
I think if we find backup, we can spread out. We can stay vigilant. It must be one of the outsiders. It must be something that's been brought in.
We don't know that.
Yes. Well, what we do know is we must stop before it does this to another.
Yes. Ryan starts to shakily get to his feet. I think I can stand, but you need to split up. We need to go get the others. Where are they?
Near enough. Do we have a whistle or any other type of way of signaling each other?
Town guards?
Probably.
Probably.
It's up to you. It's your rodeo, Rob.
Different. I don't know. I don't want to establish something for your canon. Yes, I'd say the East Ward, particularly the East Gatehouse, tend to use a series of I'll say whistles. They're probably the lowest low magic setting equivalent. You have a whistle. It can be heard from when there's not rowdy situations of bars turning out like there is now. It's probably going to limit the situation, the distance that the people can hear you. But it can be heard from a few streets away.
All right, let's give it a whistle.
Do it.
All right, you whistle into it. You know that the Cartographer shop was a little ways away, so you might have to get out at least into the plaza from this alley. Probably head in that direction before you can get there. But you're heading out that way, Hercule. Are you going?
I think we need to stay together. Okay. I think it'd be stupid for us to split up. So
yeah.
I'm gonna pick up Yusin.
Pick up Yusin's body.
Yep, Yusin's body. And I will walk between Ryan and Hercule.
Ryan, you can tell, has got some serious. He's probably got concussion. He's got some serious, shaky legs going on as he stands. He sort of slumps against. You can see that he's still not quite fitting his uniform. He hasn't gotten used to using working with the extra weight of it as well. He seems shaky on his feet, and he sees you picking Yusin up, and he says, "It's going to slow us down. We need to find whatever. He'll be safe here. We just need to find what did this." He takes out his own whistle feebly. They're not going to hear us. He sits back down. I'll watch him.
Takir sees a little bit of sense in that.
I'll watch his body. You just
and puts him right against the wall, the corner of the wall, where he's not on the road, and says, "Okay, Hercule, we need to go find our other guard."
I'm sorry.
That's fair.
Ryan says, looking at you.
Ryan, stay in the light. Be careful.
He sits down with his back to the wall so that he's not going to get jumped again.
Here.
And
I'll hand.
Then you're off.
Hand him my water skin, just so that he has something to drink and maybe keep himself
all right.
hydrated.
You hand him your water skin. He takes a sip of it as the two of you turn and run. You run to the cartographer's shop. You know the town well enough to know beeline straight for it. You grab these guys just as the camera from this tense moment of drama cuts back to...
And so this is how I found out that how you can use specific parts of the sturges to actually sustain on it for 3 days.
As you're saying that, you can see that that Roswin is like using his hands and very graciously like sort of wiping this matted blood that is like covered him from head to toe, and he goes, Yes, no, I understand that, but it still doesn't explain why you had to hit the sturge while it was feeding.
That's just a torrent of blood, like hitting a water pump full of your own blood.
Most of this is just Yuka.
Yuka coughs and says, is this a bad time to ask, what is a cartography shop? We don't have this at the monastery, and we definitely don't have giant mosquitoes. I'm quite taken aback.
You look across to see a very angry looking Wallace, the cartographer, just staring at his many maps, just covered in some mosquito blood from the various sturges that have exploded around his shop. And he's just shaking his head in disbelief.
We're very sorry for your pictures and your paintings. We'll talk to the East Guard townhouse.
Yes.
Maybe they...
See that you do.
Yes. All right. Do you have any extra parchment? I think I'm bleeding a little bit.
I think your guardhouse will probably have supplies for you, won't they? He says,
okay.
thank you for your duty. And he just shoves you out of the door. Tring! As he closes the door.
I've got prestidigitation. Okay.
Okay, maybe another time. As he shoves you out into the street, you hear the hurried footsteps of two fellow guards running towards you.
Oh, what are you guys doing here?
Murder! There's been a murder, most foul.
Oh.
Someone has killed the chickens.
Oh no.
As thieves. This is the last time wayward pluckings shall occur in this town. Take us to where these murdered fowls exist.
I'm afraid that the one killed was no chicken indeed. It was...
Yusin, my friend. Come.
Our friend.
Not Yusin.
Unless there's objections, you follow them back to the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Yes, I will prestidigitate myself on the way.
Yeah, clean off the blood from yourself on the way. You're starting to feel a little better with the fresh air. The wound has closed up, or clotted at the very least.
My God, did they try to kill you as well?
Oh, yes.
Well, they did. You're not lying. They, the Sturges, tried to kill you. You get back to the alleyway and instantly find regret at leaving him alone. You find Ryan dead on the ground and Yusin's body nowhere to be found.
I thought you said Yusin died. This is Ryan.
That's Ryan.
It seems to be spreading.
Indeed.
Contagion.
Oh, I'm no good at tracking. Any of you?
Oh, not I.
Mud into
not
an inn.
good at tracking, but she just goes back down to where Ryan is, and she starts respectfully putting him into, just a proper manner of.
As you go to move his body, you notice a couple of things about him. The first is that he is holding in one hand a candle that seems like it was lit recently. He has his own tinderbox lying beside him.
Okay.
And it's been held in one hand to the point where it burnt his hand. He's got fire damage to the palm of his hand.
What? Okay.
The other thing you notice is that despite the, aside from the back of the head wound against the wall, which these guys fill you in about how it happened, no other seeming injury to his body. Just the fresh burn mark on his hand.
Yuka holds the candle and kind of takes it apart from his hand and looks over at Takir and Hercules. Can't remember everyone's names. And just looks over at you guys who were here and says, was he holding this before? Did you give him this? This looks like it's damaged him. And she just holds up the candle. Is it hurting me?
Nope.
No, okay.
It's no longer lit.
Okay.
It seems like it was extinguished when it burnt him.
What's it made of?
It's made of beeswax.
Beeswax. Interesting. I hand it over to Takir. What do you make of this?
Well, beeswax candles are expensive. Certainly not standard guard issue.
No, they're not.
So, I can't. Was Ryan? Did anyone know Ryan very well? Is he wealthy? Would he have had beeswax?
He was not wealthy. None of you know him too well. He's a relatively new addition to the guardhouse. He was a young fella, came in from outside. He's not an Aratai native, but has moved to the city recently with family. He's been shy about opening up about his own situation too much, but you gather that he's probably doing this to try and get ahead in life, try and find a foothold where his family doesn't have one.
Oh.
Mayhaps, can I see the candle? Taking hold of the candle, I guess how melted is this candle? Like, does it look like it was lit for a long time, or just like a little bit?
It looks like it is. It's not a fresh candle. It seems like it's been used a few times.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I'll put it this way: it wouldn't have had enough time to burn down from a fresh candle to where it is now in the time that you've been gone.
Okay.
So it has been used previously.
Okay, I want to do three things. First of all, I want to feel how malleable the wax is around the top near the wick.
Seems pretty malleable. It is not too long since it was lit.
Okay. The second is I want to see if there's any scent on it as I run it underneath my elven nose.
No more so than you'd expect from a beeswax candle.
Okay. And I look around the ground and I want to see if there's any drippings of this candle anywhere besides around where we found Ryan.
I'll have all of you actually make a perception check.
All right.
What do my elven eyes?
20.
Oh,
Nat
nice.
24,
For a total
Yuka.
of
15.
15.
17.
Oh.
21.
Some good rolls. Total of
Oh.
20 plus
was
perception.
that 22?
22. Very
Okay.
good. Oh, nice. 17, 15, 15, 21, 22. The 21 and the 22, you hear. You don't see wax as you're looking for it dripping around him. It seems like there's definitely some that's solidified on his hand, but you do hear something. With your decent perception, you hear the sound of something slate upon slate, and it seems to be above you on the roof.
Uh-oh. Scatter, scatter, scatter!
Yeah, Yuka says, "Look up!"
I didn't hear it. Sorry, I didn't hear it.
It's okay. You do now. As she says, "Look up," you all look up, and you see a face of a very scared-looking child, quickly whipping back over the edge.
Oh,
I say it's the other child.
come down here.
To the roof!
Go to the roof.
You can come down. Whatever works, really.
You can get to the roof if you want. There is a drain pipe that leads up from a couple of boxes. You can jump up to.
I'm gonna climb up.
All right.
Climb up.
Let's not spook them, right? We want to help them, not spook them.
You
I will
jump up
help
onto the
by
boxes as he
climbing
says
up.
this.
I will help
and then
by
you're
climbing up.
All right, this is going to be a climb check.
This
so,
might be traumatic
you are,
for the child.
You are a monk, so I'll allow you to make it more of a parkour thing if you want.
Yeah,
Acrobatics.
parkour. 12 plus with acrobatics.
Acrobatics or athletics, whichever's higher for you.
12 plus 5.
Oh, 17. Very good.
So she
as you
slides up.
Very quickly, nimbly, you get to the roof. You lift your head up and over.
Yes.
And you see a young woman. There she is. I'll move all of the guards now. Young woman. She's probably like 12 or 13. She seems quite nimble. She's definitely one of the ones that you were chasing. Not that you can see her just yet. But you can see that she looks terrified and she's backing away from you. You can tell that she ran up here, and from the way that the roof is laid out, there was nowhere to go. So she's just kind of been hiding
Yuka
here.
says, "Be calm, be still. We are here to help." And she flashes a soft smile.
What? I didn't want to break into the place they made me. We were just bored and there was something to do, please.
It's okay, love.
I don't want to die.
No, you won't. Who said anything about dying? Nobody. Come here, all right? We're town guards. We're here to help you.
Make me a persuasion roll, please. It's a relatively low DC because she wants to believe you.
Ooh, 18 minus 1,
Oh.
17.
Still plenty. She was in the frame set to accept help, so it was really only if you net wondered that you'd have been like blah 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 blah. So you managed to persuade her enough that she sort of makes her way over, slips, and a slate comes off and shatters in the alleyway beside you guys, and you help her.
Hand.
And then once you manage to turn around, she can shimmy her way back down the drain pipe. She got up there well enough anyway.
You know those things in the playground where it's just a fireman?
Just a fireman's pole, yeah.
Yeah. Nice and smooth and calm.
You arrived back down in the bottom with a potential witness.
All right. Okay. Can you tell us what your name is?
It takes a moment for her to calm down enough to get sense out of her, especially with 5 town guards rather intimidating around her.
She looks at some of the others and just says, "Look away.
Give us some space,
Give us some time."
It's a good idea. Actually, I'll move. I'll step back.
Yeah.
Well and truly get out of
Still
it.
within line of sight, but just...
Tend to
no,
Ryan,
yeah.
and I kind of cover her eyes from
Yeah,
the
from
dead
the dead
body.
body that decides. Thankfully, he's not in too much
I'll
of a
actually
way.
use minor illusion and
Ooh.
give the body an appearance of like just some like textiles being stacked like behind the.
Excellent. Very clever.
Yep.
That will definitely help. I've got things that she will tell you based on how well you're treating this. Hiding the body was one of them. Well done. She eventually she calms down enough to say, "The strong-looking one ran after me, but I was already up the roof looking down, and then the weak guy came in behind, and they seemed to know each other. The strong one asked if he'd seen me, and the weak one said, yeah. He went that way, she went that way and pointed down the alleyway, and I didn't go that way. I didn't went that way at all. And then the weak one said that he didn't have a sword, so the strong one took his sword out and gave it to him. And then when he turned around, the small one stabbed him with it. And then he heard you coming, and he like threw his head against the wall and lay down."
Weak one. Was this just another man in civilian clothes?
The one, and she turns to point out and says, "He was here. He died." And she's clearly looking for Ryan, but you've done a good job of hiding him.
Whoa. Ryan. Oh, not Ryan. So the weak one, he hurt the strong guy.
Yeah.
And I look over at the team and say that loud enough to them. The weak one, Ryan, took out
I
the strong
surreptitiously
guy.
kick the bag of textiles. Cad.
Roswin, was there any like symbols on the candle, like any sort of enchantment or something that would keep him holding it, or could have?
Not that I could smell, but is there any?
I could smell. Was there any symbols on the candle? Not that I could smell.
Well, I smelt it. I didn't. Apparently, I didn't see any. So I
Well,
thought
we don't need to see who smelt it. We need to find out who dealt it. Check the tinderbox.
But were there any
You look at the
runes?
candle, you can see that there aren't particular engravings on it. There may once have been before it burnt away, but it seems like the candle itself is no longer holding any recognizable symbols. There's a couple of markings that may well have been symbols, but again, from it being in his clutched in his hand when he fell, and the fact that it was lit when he grabbed a hold of it, it's hard to identify any particular markings or engravings or cultish symbols or anything of that nature.
I'd like to try something. I want to very quickly, like just off to the side while the little girl is talking, and walk up to Hercule and say, "Psst, Hercule.
Yes.
I'm going to attempt something here. It may give us some clues, or we all might die.
I like those odds.
Take this with you." And I'm going to hand my long sword to Hercule. Now be careful. My mother got me that for graduation.
It's quite fetching, yes.
Yes, I still haven't told her that I didn't make it into Paladin school, but that's a problem for another day. And I'm going to...
To Hercule, this is like a great sword as well.
I will carry it with pride.
Yes. And I'm going to try and light the candle whilst holding it, and see if it tries to take over my mind.
All right. You light the candle. Nothing seems to happen immediately.
I feel like today is a day of...
Immediately?
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about beeswax.
Nothing seems to happen immediately, no. Seems to light up, and it lights up fine. The fire does seem to glow quite bright and quite hot.
Okay.
I say, so what is the strange deal with this candle? You all seem to be very confused by it. It's just a candle.
Yes, but it burnt the weak one's hand quite badly.
He took it out and he burnt himself with it after you left.
Burnt himself with it?
After you left, he took it out and he used his cinders and he lit it up, and then he walked over to the body of the other one and he said something I couldn't hear, and then he held it and it burnt him, and then he said something in a weird voice, and then he dropped on the ground.
Ooh, That sounds quite bad.
And then the other one got up again.
What?
What?
And he walked away.
Which other one?
It's like the dead come alive again. He just walked up again and he walked out of the alley.
What?
The dead.
Which other one?
The other one, the strong one.
Yusin.
Yusin?
Oh, can I have my sword back real quick?
Yes. Here.
I'm gonna poke I'm gonna poke my illusionary skull just to make sure I haven't resurrected right.
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Who is Ryan still there?
Yeah.
Can you take this? I'm starting to tip.
Yes.
Oh no!
No, I'm sorry.
Yes, Ryan's body is still there.
Okay, good. Whew, that was lucky. I was like, dang it! Sorry, I forgot to put it out.
You put the fire out.
Can I ask a question of you, Rob?
Yes.
So, in the timeline of the story, connected with the timeline of the Dice Legends main campaign, have our characters come across report of anything like this before?
This is simultaneously with episode 1.
Excellent. That's
Episode 1.
right. Thank
Cool.
you. I just what I needed to know. Thank you.
It was dead and it came alive again.
Have any of you, turning to the rest of them, Isabel, Roswin, Hercule, have any of you seen anything like this before?
I've seen none of this. None of this is familiar to I. It's none of my beeswax.
Unfortunately, I also.
There's a sound. There's a sound from out in the plaza at this point as you hear the approach of footsteps, authoritative kind of footsteps, at a bit of a clip as well. You turn to see another of your fellow guards, Condu, who is approaching at a clip, having heard the whistles, it seems, and finally arriving. He turns up and sees Hercule there, and Hercule, you see him visibly roll his eyes, almost to the point it would hurt himself to roll his eyes so much. And then he looks past you and sees the commotion in the alley, and he says, "So what's all this then? You're just hanging out? Is it a party in the alley? What is it? What's going on?"
Have some respect, Condu. There's been a death.
Oh, there has there? He looks at you, Hercule, with very accusatory eyes.
Yes.
Oh, what? Go on, detail.
Well, it's Roswin, would you mind?
Yes. Tiny child, come with me. I have some terrific awnings from the shop nearby to show you. And as I do, I'm going to snap my fingers and dispel the illusion as I'm walking her away.
Yeah, she walks out of the alley with you and you drop the illusion. Condu looks past and he goes, "Oh. Huh. All right. Are you under arrest then?" he says to you, Hercule. And he starts to walk towards you with hand going down to his mantle.
Am I under arrest?
Yeah. Have these ones caught you or what?
No.
No, he's not doing anything. It has nothing to do with him.
No one's caught me yet.
Oh, yeah. What's going on? Did you catch him in the act or something?
No. We found a witness, young girl. She saw what happened, and we've got Yusin, your friend Yusin.
All right. So Condu, is he rank? How does he?
Same rank as you.
All right.
You just know that he has beef with Hercule. You're not exactly sure of the story behind it, but you know that he doesn't like him.
Okay, Condu, to make it short, because we really don't have time. So, in chasing 3 young hoodlums, we split up. Yusin has been killed. Ryan here has also died. This child that's been taken away reports some kind of unnatural betrayal by Ryan. Ryan killed Yusin, but then Yusin rose from the dead. Ryan
come
has
off
died.
it.
I know, it's unusual. Has to do with this candle, and I think we'll just doesn't make any sense at all. But
I mean,
she's very-
examine the body for yourself. His hand is burned. There's no other side of wound other than the head wound. Which...
Oh yeah. I'll investigate the body, and then it's my job to do the paperwork on it. No, I pull the other one. You guys found the body. You guys do the paperwork. But you best know. And he leans down to you, Hercule, and he says, "You may have these ones fooled, But if I find out you were anything to do with the death of any of my colleagues, you know I won't stop at any just arresting you.
Yuka,
If I have anything to do with the death of any of our colleagues, I expect you to.
Yuka steps in between. She puts a hand out in front of this man and says, I think it's time for you to continue on to your watches now. We'll have it handled here.
He sort of just gives you dirty looks and then turns and leaves. And he heads out into the plaza. And then you hear him talking to somebody, and he goes, no, it's nothing to do with you, Heidi. Go back to bed. He says, I just want to know what the fuss is. I was hearing whistles. And the bunch of you know Heidi to be a bit of a slander journalist. She's always kind of an ambulance chaser. She's running around after things, always wanting gossip of what's happening and stuff. And she's like, they're sticking her nose in now. You look out into the plaza, you see she's still got her hair curlers in. She's in the essentially a dressing gown. She looks like she's woken up by the whistles and has come out to be like, oh, what's going on? She's got a notepad in hand.
All right, guys. Let's put our brains together. What are everyone thinking? What is everyone thinking? What do we think we should do next?
I will have each of you make a history check, and Ilseval, you have advantage.
Ooh,
14.
Wow. I got a 7 and a 3, so that's a 7 with advantage.
24.
What the? 10.
And did I get one from you, Dag?
Oh, I'm in the alleyway with the child. Do I need to make the
I'll get
history
one
check?
from you as well, though, because it's not about specifically this alleyway. It's about thinking what to do next.
14.
14. All right. Okay, so Ilseval with a 7, nothing comes to mind as to what to do next. You just, something comes to mind that it's like, well, it looks like Ryan was an assassin of some kind, and that's about all you think of. Yuka, tell me, how would you have heard of a crime organization in this particular part of the town? From your backstory, being from the monastery, how would you, at what point in your, we can do like a little flashback moment of when you became aware of a crime family that lives and works in this area of town.
I suspect I think there are some underground crime groups here, which is what inspired me in the first place to join the town guards, after hearing that the world is so corrupt and Aratai being so concentrated with people, and you put all those people together, there's bound to be some bad ones, and we can't have bad ones anymore. No more bad people. No bad people for you.
I think when you first joined as well, you were so focused on like stamping out corruption and making Aratai a safe place to be that you like got overly involved in things that would be like petty offences and stuff.
Absolutely.
And I think from doing that, you kind of started to see connections that other people were missing, just dismissing them as petty crimes.
Yeah.
You started to notice that the same sort of names were cropping up in association with who people were associating with before committing crimes and stuff. Just like certain details in their what's the word, a confession of crimes and stuff. And you started to piece together the fact that there is the name Greyfall came up quite a lot.
Greyfall.
And you don't know much about them, but you know there is a crime family called the Greyfall family that operate from somewhere in town, and you, from your history check, you know that they are very well connected in most things. And so they might not be involved in this, but they would know something about it for sure.
Yes. She makes those in her head, and she relays this to the team, and blah, 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 blah. Greyfall.
Grateful.
Ilseval.
Have you guys not been paying attention to all the different crimes that you've been investigating? What do you think we are? Town guards, and we're here to do some good.
Yes, very good.
What do you think we can just
It's true.
get free meals and have a place to stay? No, this is all about honor and love for people.
And free meals.
As she tries to give you an inspiringly defeat. Isabel, you've kind of Charlie Brown tuned her out after the name Greyfall. Everything she said after that has been
Yes.
She's very well acquainted with the name.
Anyone that might be happen to glance at Isabel will see a very totally tuning out for the rest of the conversation. She's just like, has that 1,000-yard stare as she's just like...
After the name was said, it suddenly clicks in your mind that although you haven't seen Ryan about, the sort of job that was done on the body, as these guys have described it, would definitely fit with the sort of work that they train in their family members. It would be the sort of training that one would get from the Greyfall family.
Is it safe to say that we have seen Ilsevel?
What's your perception modifier?
It's +4.
+4, you would have seen it, yeah.
Ilsevel, what is it? You seem to know something.
Yes. I am familiar with the Greyfall name. And this is definitely a mark of their work. People that are part of the family are trained in this sort of method. This is not good. This is very bad news if this is the Greyfall work. And
you don't, however, know any connection between the Greyfall and candles, or the dead come live again, or any of that sort of stuff.
So when you say it's consistent with the family and their training, what are you talking about? You talking about training in assassination? What are you talking about?
Yes, assassination specifically.
Why?
Doing things sneaky and quiet and without notice.
Why on earth, if you two seem to know about this family, why on earth would they be interested in either killing Yusin or, secondly, some connection with the child? Why,
Is the child part of the Greyfall family? Do we still have the child? Where's...
You head out into the plaza to find Roswin dead. No.
well, actually,
He's just killed off the green.
On that note, so while this has happened, Roswin's kind of had his own theories and stuff like that. And I'm gonna ask the child if she's got somewhere safe to stay.
Mother's house, yeah.
And where exactly is Mother's house?
I shouldn't say.
Good lass. How about this? We're gonna play a game. It's a game that's gonna keep you nice and safe from everyone who's involved with this nonsense. I'm going to give a secret to you, and then you're gonna give a secret to me. My secret is, and I'm gonna look around, and I want to use prestidigitation on her hair, and change her hair to be like kind of a redhead hair, or just a different color to hers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anyone that you're currently looking a little different, and you'll tell me where to find you so that I can keep you safe along with my friends. Because we know that the weak one, as you were saying before, he was a bad god, but I'm a good god. And my friends, well, they're good gods as well. And we need to be able to find you so that we can keep you safe from the bad ones.
Make me a persuasion check, please.
Yeah. That is a 14.
14. She says, okay, but you didn't hear from me, okay?
I didn't hear anything.
There's a warehouse. It's got a big fish on the top of it. It's like it spins around. And you know the city well enough to know there is like it used to be a fishmonger's storehouse, and it has a weather vane on top that is in the shape of a fish. We live in there.
Okay. Well, you stay there and be sure not to come out until, well, at least until it's safer, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now hurry home. Off you go.
She sets off into the night.
Oh, wait, before you leave, I'm going to take out 2 silver, and I'm going to place them in the palm of her hand, and then I'll let her leave.
Thanks, mister.
And then she turns and she leaves.
All right.
Probably
I'm going to head back. as they're coming to look for the child, I'll go, well, it was the darndest thing. The damn girl overpowered me. I am forlorn.
Yuka looks at Roswell and says, lying isn't good.
Depends on how good I am at it. Yep, nope, lying isn't good. I got a 7.
Lying is 7 good. About 35%
yes.
good.
Yes, 35% good. I will say yes. No, lying would be a terrible, terrible matter, especially if of course I were lying to people that may be from a compromised group of individuals that may be victimizing members of its own kind. I would, of course, be terrible at lying were I to be lying, but of course I'm not lying now, am I? Eyes wide, like...
Anyone with a positive insight check, anyone with a positive insight modifier can tell that what it's saying is he's going to keep the girl safe by not disclosing anything to the guards that he now realizes he cannot trust. But anybody without a positive insight modifier has no idea what that jumbled jargon of mess of words was that he just said. So, what do you want to do? You know that that at the very least the Greyfall are probably involved in this in some manner.
I want to ask Ilsevel if she knows any places of interest that she knows that the Greyfall family usually operate around. So she looks over at Ilsevel and she says, Greyfall? Place of interest?
Whether you disclose this to the party or not, you are very much aware that there is an estate called the Greyfall Estate that is a series of buildings that is a little bit of a gated community of its own. They kind of keep to themselves in that community. To get in is a little bit of a mission. They've definitely got guards and things on lookout, their own guards. They keep themselves above board on the surface of things to make it harder for people to ever pin something on them. So you know where they are situated, but it is difficult to get into.
She will turn and be like, I am aware of an estate that they have, but their guard is private and not really sanctioned with the city. It would be very hard to get in, but potentially doable if we are incredibly stealthy and very lucky. But I do know where.
Do you mean like break in?
Yes.
Isn't that against the town guard code? Shouldn't we get a warrant?
Should we check? Should we check the handbook?
Yeah, you get
you read
handbook.
Get the rules out.
Let's
You're like,
see.
who?
Hold on, I've got it right here.
I'm writing this.
Written by Sullivan. Sullivan? Who's Sullivan?
You check the handbook. There is nothing. There is a small code that could be loophole. You could argue your way around it. That if you ever have due cause to believe that not investigating in a prompt fashion should ever, and it's worded in like jargony language. If you ever have due cause to believe that there is reason to believe that someone is in danger by lack of action, then you can force entry into a building. So it's meant for like things like gas leaks and stuff. Like if you hear somebody getting attacked, you're not going to be like, I can't come onto your property till I got a warrant. You can get on. You can go onto the property under certain circumstances, but those circumstances are like you have to argue them.
Hercule, I love that you have a rule book in your hand.
Well, I mean, I have to know these things for with the moments when it would. Do you know that we're supposed to receive a chicken once a month?
It's one of those antiquated rules that came about from. There was a guard over in the west, you think, that was super into chickens, and she refused to acknowledge that she couldn't be a guard and also have a chicken on her. So it was like a loophole that was set in the. If you were raised with a chicken and that chicken should die, you shall be replaced the chicken as a companion animal no more than once per month. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like one of those companion. I didn't know that.
Yes, an emotional support chicken.
Yeah, that's right. So, as you know, the thing to do might be to heist your way into this Greyfall estate. I'm going to go back into a skill challenge. You are going to tell me one thing you do to try and prepare for the heist, as it were, whether that's research at a library, whether it's staking them out, whether it's asking around town, whatever it is, you can decide based on whichever skills you're good at. And then you tell me which you do. If you succeed at your individual skill in this part of the skill challenge, you will get a flashback token, so that when the actual heist happens, we don't have to waste time actually planning out it in perfect detail. We can just go into the heist, and then you can come across a thing that you're like, oh, we prepared for this, and then you can use your flashback token to tell me how you prepared for the heist.
Yeah,
I love that mechanic.
Heist movies all the time.
Exactly. This is going into a heist in this situation. You need to find out from the Greyfall if anybody was undercover, if they know of anybody. So you're looking for things like journals, things like document books. For a family that operates as a mafia, they're not just going to be open and honest about things and talk about stuff, but there will definitely be document of everything somewhere on their estate. If you can find that document that tells you whether Ryan was on the take, as it were, then you'll get some answers. So, going to the skill challenge. Who wants to go first?
I think Ilsavel will quickly take off her guard uniform, put on her black version, and go stake out
All right.
Greyfall
So
Manor,
stake out.
since she knows where that is.
Do you think this is going to be stealth, perception, or investigation?
I would love to use stealth.
All right, so let's
try and be
make
as
a
sneaky
stealth
and
check.
quiet.
Let me just roll a set a DC for you. Given the current watch and the dogs that are on duty. All right, you have a DC.
Perfect. That is going to be a 21.
Excellent. Don't forget as well that you all started this game, as most people start with my games, with a hero token, a hero point.
That's right.
Which acts like inspiration, but better. So you can use it as a reroll. You can force me to reroll. If you dag, you can petition the DM to do something that's completely outside of the rules, as he will inevitably do at some point. All right, so 21, that is definitely one success. As you stake them out, you learn some information. That whatever that information is, we will learn later when the heist comes around. Who wants to go next?
I think I... Oh, sorry, please.
No, by all means, no. Please,
that's happening in turn.
I think that I should...
No, you should... Oh, sorry. You...
No, you should actually. I'm going to carouse. I'm going to go find some scalawags nearby, and I'm going to lose some money at a game of dice to learn information about this place.
Excellent. So you want to make a dice roll? Are you proficient with dice?
Yes, and I'm going to... I would like to use my charisma to lose with charm.
Wonderful. So make me a charisma-based dice check, please, if you are proficient in dice.
And that... Oh! I'm a halfling. I can re-roll this nat one.
Yeah, really. Like I said,
Nice.
All right.
And that is an unnatural 20.
That is also one success. We can come back to what information you have learned at a later date when it becomes pertinent. Who's next?
If we're going to dag.
Roswin would like to spend some time trying to find members of the guards or members of the family themselves, and I would like to take the time to try and seduce these individuals. And,
all right. Try to seduce your way into learning about the Greyfall guard situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will come back to that for reasons. We'll go with Vahid next.
Wait, what?
Look, my skills are straight to the point kind of skills. What I'm good at, though, that can be helpful, is perception. So I'm just going to get up to a vantage point, and I'm staking out similarly to Ilsavel, but just without this sneaking around. I'm just finding a high vantage point and just watching people coming and going, seeing what I can see, seeing if there are any, looking for things like, all right, there's the main door, but are other people going through other doors?
People seem to be disappearing around the back and not coming back around the other side. Therefore, there must be secret doors and
I'm looking for those kind of things, weird patterns in people's movements.
All right,
kind of stuff.
Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
That's a good one.
Wow.
That counts as 2 successes, so you get 2 flashback tokens for the purposes of the heist later.
Oh.
And we will come back to what you learned as it becomes appropriate.
Can I say one other thing real fast?
Yes.
Robin, that hood looked great.
Thank you.
Robin's hood.
Yeah, Robin's hood. She
Robin's
looked
hood.
awesome.
Robin's hood.
There we go.
Looking great on screen.
Nice.
Yuka goes back to look through her past crime reports and like what's the word?
Incident report?
Incident reports, anything that's related to Greyfall. She goes through all that. She takes meticulous notes. And yes, so she's going to go through them and see any other connections.
All right,
with,
what would you like
names.
to make this? History, investigation?
I would like to make it a history.
History, make it a history check. Let me set you a DC real quick. Okay.
19.
What the heck?
We're gonna have a good heist. Let's see.
Plus 5.
19 plus 5, 24. All right, that is a success. Now, Dag, the reason I came back to you was that as you are finding someone to seduce, you're looking around. Where do you think you find them? In a bar?
Oh please, not a bar. How so pedestrian? I will find love at a
In a hopeless place.
at a small bakery, a small patisserie.
Oh, a
where
small patisserie.
one can-
Cute.
That's
Yeah,
open
one
in the
can
middle of the
go
night.
A small patisserie that's open in the middle of the night. Hey, we can
24/7.
we can say that you go back.
There's one
You
here
were
in Christchurch.
relieved.
It's called half-baked.
It's a 24/7
It's called half-baked
patisserie.
schemes. That's the.
Hey,
Half-baked schemes. I love it. You find one that it is open at crazy hours because they're trying to make use of the people who've come from afar, the travelers who've come from in, and they're used to eating. They're like, oh, but back in the lands far east, we have bakeries at all times of night, and so they've opened up to try and cash in as much as possible. You find a little patisserie, and as you start to seduce this member of the Greyfall family, you are approached. You are approached by Sir Carlton, a paladin gentleman that you are familiar with, who says, "Ah, Roswin, it's so wonderful to see you. I didn't expect to see you at this time of night. I've just finished a little patrol of my own, as it were, before, there's a little joke about you being town guard. It's just, what are you doing here? It's funny I should bump into you, actually. I was wanting to talk to you, and you're in the midst of, like, the Greyfall guy that you've been stalking has just walked in, and you're now having to talk to Sir Kelton and or potentially fob off Sir Kelton, your choice, as this Greyfall member is starting to approach and order and then leave, and your window for the seduction is closing.
Okay, so as this happens and Sir Carlton begins to talk to me, I kind of like have this moment of peering over his shoulder. I sort of grit my teeth, and you see that in the presence of Sir Carlton, who is a bona fide paladin, who was actually my supervisor while I was a squire trying to be a paladin, who was the one who failed me on my paladin exam. I kind of grit my teeth, and as I do, I'm like, I'm really sorry, sir, but I don't suppose you would be willing to go with what is about to happen next.
Well, I suppose that depends on what.
I take what looks to be one of those Filipino custard tarts, and I just slam it straight into his face. And I said, "And that is the last time you'll talk to me in such a tone, you vile, tin-plated..." And I'm not going to say things because we're PG, but presume some elven language.
I've never been so...
Yes, that's right. Good Kenentor.
And to think that I was coming to you to offer you a second chance at the paladin exam. I can't believe your insolence. I suppose I made the right choice to begin with. And then he turns on his heel and storms out of the patisserie. And then the little halfling baker says, "You're gonna have to pay for that." Yeah.
Yes, no, quite. I'm sorry.
That's 3 copper for that pie. Right, but you do right. Anybody who, I imagine he deserved it. Pie to the face. No. If you want another one in your pocket in case you see him again on the street, it's another 3 copper. Or 2 for the two. I'll do you a discount. If you buy another, it's only 2 copper for the second one.
Fantastic. In which case, I will take 3. 1 for the road, 1 for his face should I walk into him again, and 1 for this fine gentleman here. Gesturing at the person who
he turns and looks over you and says, "I like your style. What did he do to anger you so?"
Well, he doesn't understand that this world doesn't need more poncy Kelathan and Varens dressed up in heavy armor, and it needs more people who understand what it's like to live on the streets here, you know.
Quite.
But
He seems interested.
but-
You've got his attention. As he walks over, he says, "What's your name?" And then we will summarize this interaction with a roll. You're going to make me a roll, a seduction check. You can make it persuasion, you can make it deception, you can make it performance.
Can I give you a line to try and get advantage?
All right. Oh,
Here we go. All right.
let's go.
If it's a good pickup line, you can get advantage.
Strange. You see, I'm a bard. I don't usually have summoned celestial, and yet here you are.
I will give you advantage.
Oh, smooth there.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Do you
that is
pick up
14.
lines? Does this exist?
Oh yeah.
Apparently.
I think it was it Ginny D did a whole video on
Oh, there were
lines,
yeah.
Someone
Ginny D did like 50 of them, and they were all
100 pickup lines for D&D and stuff. It was
We should send that to Ronnie.
A lot of good stuff. What was your total, sorry?
14.
14. All right. This guy was pretty tough to with advantage. This guy was pretty tough to seduce, but he seems to be interested in you. You're a very attractive elven paladin bard. So he's willing to hear you out, and that will be one success. I'll be kind. The DC I'd set at 15 in my head, but you were close enough. You're pretty close. Okay.
Give him a pie.
You give him a pie. That's the extra one. There you go. 14 plus a pie.
It is a Filipino custard pie. after
Yeah.
all.
Pretty
is.
good.
Good custard pies.
So
All right.
good.
So as you bring your preparation for this heist to a close, you are relieved of your dawn patrol, and you are going to prepare throughout the rest of the day for your next shift in the evening to enact this heist the next night. And that's where we're going to go to our break. We're going to come back in 10 minutes, let's say, for seeing how this heist actually plays out.
Fun!
Don't go anywhere. All right, so as we set the scene, Dag's going to be singing his character, which makes sense because he's a bard. All right, we will jump back into it. It is.
I saw 3 rogues come stealthing in, into the house. I saw 3 rogues go stealthing in. I think we should be cautious.
Very good. If you didn't already have a hero point, I'd give you one.
Inspired.
Yes.
So we are starting with the next night. You've done your preparations through this day. You've done your stakeouts. You've done your seductions. You've done whatever it took. You've also obviously reported to the guard what happened, and they have they've said that they'll file a report and keep a vigilant eye on people. You are heading to the Greyfall estate. As you get to within range of it, you can see the first obstacle is that it is a gated town, as it were. It is there is a large iron gate around. There is a very smoothed cobblestone street that leads up to it, large enough for a wagon. 2 opening gates that are manned by a guardhouse. They have private guards. Ooh, snooker. Thank you. You are approaching the gate. It is there's a guardhouse with a guard on duty. You know that the guard has one of the dogs on duty as well, and that there is another doghouse not too far from the guardhouse where they keep other dogs. So, what do you want to do? Are you trying to go in brazenly? Are you trying to bluff your way in? Oh, we're here for the event, and try and be caterers to some event you don't know is happening? Or does anybody want to use their token and tell me? Oh, we know that there's an event happening, and therefore you can kind of help me to tell a story with those tokens. So what do? You've got to get into the thing physically. You're on the other side of a gate.
I'm quite keen to be led by Ilsavel just because, initially, because Ilsavel knows this family best.
Yep.
I'm also happy with Ilsavel taking the lead because this is not during our time of day of work, it's not our shift.
I think this is during your shift, so that you can.
Goodness.
Yeah, this is during your shift the next night, so that you can justify doing this.
All right, but I still feel uncomfortable lying.
Whereas,
are they
no free sponsorship. No free sponsorship. If you want sponsorship, Snickers are going to come running in. They're going to be like, well.
Jay Spades, thank you for sending that to us. But anyways, Yuka also still feels uncomfortable that we're trying to. She knows that we're not trying to break in per se, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
And so she's just gonna be at the back of the group and just smile.
And this is the dusk patrol. So you had the midnight to dawn before.
Yep.
And then you had the daylight hours to rest and recuperate and do your planning. And then as dusk occurs, this is when your next shift began. And
Yes, and
so
my
you've
health
still
points are
got
full.
some light at the moment, but the longer into it you go, the less light you will have. So what are you going to do? What is the plan? You're taking sort of a back step.
Yep, I'm
You're
taking a back step.
Ilsaval, are you taking the lead on this?
Yeah, I will spend my
Your
not the hero
flashback
point,
token.
the other one. Yeah, the token. To say that during her scouting mission, she found around the back entrance. She found a tree that had like a very sturdy branch that was like going over the gate. So I think she found a potential way to get in.
Found a way
around
in,
the
so
back.
you can shimmy up the tree across the branch and drop into the grounds without having to go through the gate.
Yes.
Excellent. That is something that you've established with your scouting, your stealth from before, your successful preparation. And so you've managed to find your way in. Because you've spent a token for that, that is an automatic success for the party. You will all shimmy up the tree, you'll shimmy your way along, and you'll drop into the grounds. You are now in the grounds. If you are not careful with how you move between the buildings, I should sort of set the scene a little more. There are multiple buildings within the estate. There is one larger sort of manor. There is also sort of like a, for want of a better words, sort of like a barracks for their own sort of, for their own private guard, and then there's a storehouse of sorts where they would keep probably ill-gotten goods, but the sort of warehouse where anybody of this sort of wealth would have somewhere to store that sort of thing. And then by the front, near the guardhouse, by the gate, is also a small stables where they keep the horses and the carts. So you can head out in any direction you choose, but if you are not careful as you go through the grounds, you know that there are dogs, you know that there are patrols. So what's the next part of your plan?
We do need to have some kind of cohesive plan, right? Ilsavel.
Rubbish! There's a certain improvisational method to our plan, which was very deliberate, because as I see the dogs, I would like to use my story point to have acquired from the patisserie that I was at a series of pigs in blankets and Filipino carts that I will then use to distract the dogs.
Guard dogs are known to like Filipino custard pies.
It's well known.
So you had a lot of those.
Their one weakness.
So during your seduction, we flash back for a moment while you're seducing this guy across the table at the patisserie, and he's telling you a little bit about his work and how he likes to work with dogs, and he says, "Oh, they're really actually keen on these pies," and he tells you all about the pies, and you say, "Is that so?" And then we sort of cut forward to the end of maybe not the end of the date, but the end of your time in the patisserie, as you're going to leave the patisserie together. You just hang back and say, "Oh, I just need to use the outhouse real quick," and then you run back in and get 7 gold worth of pies, please.
So many pies.
All of the pies.
Wow.
And you now have those pies that you distribute around the place, like Hansel and Gretel with breadcrumbs, but with entire custard pies, just dropping them behind you around the yard. So the dogs are doing the patrols and sniffing out. They are not going to be a threat on your way into the estate proper.
They're walking around like Pac-Man. Just
Yeah.
We just gotta avoid their path like in the video game.
Waffle.
All right, so you've distracted the dogs. You're in. You can choose which of the properties you're going to. Where are you going?
So surely it's in, if we're looking for a document, a journal of who's on the payroll, surely it's in the biggest, most heavily guarded. They're not going to leave it in their storehouse. But I want to know if we actually have a plan.
Well,
Sorry, it's a bit old-fashioned of me, perhaps.
well,
You have an
Please
object-
tell me we're saying this as we're
Maybe not.
sneaking into the main building.
Right, exactly. What is the plan?
Maybe not a plan so much as an objective. You know that your objective is you've got to find the journal that is incriminating for whether or not Ryan was on the take, anything to do with the dead coming alive again. And yes, you're right to say that that's most likely going to be in the manor. So your plan, I guess, is to get into the manor, find the journal.
That's right.
well, breaking into an estate under the pretense that we don't, not pretense, words, of breaking into a state essentially is not in my training manual, and so I'm very tentative. So whatever you say the plan is, I'll listen to you.
You've managed to, all day you've been sort of fretting.
I'm fretting.
Didn't get any.
If we find,
You've just been fretting about the whole thing.
I'd rather, minimal interaction.
You managed to convince yourself of doing it for the greater good, because it seems like they are going out there and they're killing guards. It may not end with Yusin. And so you've managed to convince yourself, okay, it's a guard's duty to get to the bottom of what's happening. So you may be like, but you're along with the plan on a tentative sort of
I'm tentative, but I will do it if it is my honor and my duty.
So as Yuka is fretting, or any point that Yuka is fretting, I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, believe in yourself, have faith. I know that the morality within you will guide you on the path towards true good as a guardsman. God's person. And I shake her. And as that happens, I'm going to cast Heroism.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. I thought it was Bardic Inspiration.
And Bardic Inspiration. I'm going to do both.
Both. Goodness. What's your Bardic Inspiration? Is it D?
Your level will be a D6.
D6. Okay, cool.
D6.
Cool.
All right.
I'm a little bit of a bard and a little bit of a paladin, so I'm going to heroically inspire me.
Heroically inspire you. Okay, so for the next little while you are heroically inspired. I assume then you're heading to the manor?
Yes.
All right.
After hearing that Yuka is settled and she thinks back to all of her disciplining and training and why she got into the town guardhouse in the first place, and she nods her head and says, "Thank you, good sir. Right, let's find this document." And she's ready to start.
Yuka, if we don't actually break in, it's just entering. If we just find an unlocked window or an unlocked door, then we just have to enter and it won't be breaking.
No breaking and entering if there's nothing broken.
I've never thought of that. All right, I won't break anything. I will just enter things.
Yes, exactly. And there's actually no problem there at all, actually, because this door's open. I'm going to spend a point, my heist point, to have arranged a door to be open for us.
Wonderful. All right.
By losing way too much money.
Yes, you lost a lot of gold during a dice game. So give me just a very brief moment. We flash back to you losing some money at the game of dice. How did that result in
I've
you?
lost again. Oh, my pockets seem to have holes in them. Oh, I'm afraid I don't have quite enough to ante up, but if you'd like, I could bring the remainder to you tonight if you're on shift.
I'm not on shift, but I'll leave you the servants' entrance open. Just come around the back. Just tell the guard on the front gate that you're here to meet me. He gives you his name, and then he says, and then coming through the servants' entrance, stairway right in front of you leads down to the servants' quarters beneath the ground. Gives you some directions to servants' quarters that you probably have no intention of following, but you've at least arranged with your loss of money that you're going to have the servants' door open for you at the back of the house. We flash back to this moment as you relay that to the party, and the party are like, "Why didn't you tell us this earlier? This should have been relayed before we were on the middle of the heist."
No one asked.
And you guys make your way across to the back of the manor. A dog comes out, you frisbee it a custard pie, and it runs off to get the pie. You get up to the servants' quarters and open the door without a creak. It opens up. You should see sure enough, there's a staircase leading down and a staircase leading up ahead of you. You're in essentially what looks like a very large kitchen, and there is an open door, a closed door on the other side of the kitchen that would lead to the other rooms of this floor.
What time is it? Dusk.
This is dusk, yeah. So late evening.
Everyone's still awake then.
Everyone's possibly still awake or going to sleep if they're early risers.
I want to plant a few pies here just so that they can blame the chef for why there's pies.
Take out some of your mini pies. It's like you've got a bag of holding, but it's only useful for pies.
Actually, this is interesting. So, I'm going to cast Minor Illusion of my arms empty, moving as I normally would, but in actuality, I'm just holding that many trays of pies while I'm
pies in front of him. I'm getting the image of the mouse from Cinderella, where he's trying to pick up all the corn, and it's stacked up in front of him, and he has to bite the top of it. He just got that, but with pies wandering into the house. Okay, so you've blamed the chef. Speaking of which, it is probably late at the time of day, meaning it's probably late into the dinner time of this particular establishment, and so you're likely to start getting some servants coming back into the kitchen soon with plates and cups and things. So you got to act fast. What are you doing? Upstairs, downstairs, or through into the rest of this floor?
I don't think through. I think upstairs.
I think upstairs.
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 I think downstairs we're going to find pretty dodgy stuff though, unless it's just a cellar. But yeah, I think upstairs is much more likely to be in a locked safe or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's where they usually are. Upstairs.
Alrighty, you head upstairs as a collective. You do not pass any of the servants on the way. As you learned from your dice game, the servants' quarters are downstairs, and so they don't tend to go up to this upstairs unless their particular job is up there, or they're turning down the bed or anything like that. You arrive on a large corridor that leads to a number of rooms. Is there any among your number who, for any reason, would know which room the head of the crime organization would?
Casting in one of my tokens. When standing watch still, I definitely saw a wealthy carriage come in yesterday.
Yep.
And someone that had to have been the head of the household, even though I don't know the household, there was something in the bearing and the way the servants treat him. Go in.
He's a dwarven man and dressed in a manner that does not hide his wealth and his status, among others. You also saw that as he got down off the carriage, one of the servants sort of put their hand out to help him down, which he found offensive because I'm a dwarf, and you saw him backhand the servant, and so you saw that sort of that kick the cat moment where you tell the audience watching, like, oh, that's a bad guy. You saw that moment so that so the audience watching doesn't feel quite so bad about you robbing him. We saw that he's a bad guy. As he got down off his carriage, he slapped the guy and he walked in with his furs behind him.
And if you recall, it was quite late, so then it was no surprise that moments later, candles and lanterns
came up in the room upstairs. You've worked that out. You've used the geometry of the house to know that it is the third door down on the right, the one that leads to being right at the front of the manor, overlooking the porch. So you make your way down the corridor. You approach the door. Are you going in?
I think Ilsavel. I think you're more likely to have the tools of the trade.
Yes, I was gonna say ear to the door and see if the door is locked. If
remember not to break it. Just enter.
Thieves' kit.
Alrighty. So you are investigating to see if the door is locked before you try and pick it, right?
Yes.
Investigation check, please.
Alrighty. I would like to spend my hero point to roll that 4.
Wonderful. All right, re-roll it.
Much better. That's going to be a 17.
17 is much better.
Nice.
With that investigation check, you can see that it is locked. You can also see that it is potentially trapped. It is a mechanical trap by the looks of it, because this is a relatively low magic setting. And so you can see that there is on the inside of the keyhole, as you're looking past it, you can see not only the tumblers and things that would need to be picked to actually unlock this, you can see that on the other side of that is a very thin wire that leads out of it. And it seems like if you slip with your thieves' tools or insert a key that is not the right size or shape, it will push this smaller pin outside the other side of this keyhole, which will drop it onto the other side, and you're not sure exactly what it will do, but
not good.
Not good.
Not good.
So it's possible to pick the lock, but you've noticed that the keyhole itself is trapped.
All right. Could I try to disarm the keyhole from the center? Okay, perfect.
I'll say that the type of trap that it is it does not need to be disarmed if you pick the lock correctly. So you can attempt to try and disarm it first, and then try and pick the lock. And either way, you're going to risk setting off the trap if you fail. So it seems fewer steps to just try and pick the lock. And
yeah, okay, I'll try and pick the lock then.
All right. Knowing what task is up ahead of you, you get your lockpicks out. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Yuka stands guard at the end of the corridor just to make sure that the coast is clear still and nobody's coming down.
Excellent.
I put my hand on Roswin's shoulder. Roswin, your words inspire confidence in people. Is there anything you can do to steady her nerves?
Yes, of course I can. Hold these, and I'm going to give all the trays to
To Takir.
I give all to Takir. It's just
You just get offloaded a bunch of custard pie.
Thanks, I guess.
okay. I say, now listen. I know that beats within you the heart of a criminal.
What a great start.
Utterly untrustworthy. Someone who definitely understands the inner workings of the criminal mind. Channel forth inside you and unto yourself that of the devious, nefarious ne'er-do-wells that would have these skills and use them to penetrate this door. Feel the flowing of the Shomtar fear of this town into your hands.
As good with words.
I love that at any moment you can't think of the right word, you just say some nonsense and say it was elfish.
I can think of the right word. I'm just not allowed to say it in a PG show.
I see. All right. So this is about a inspiration.
Perfect.
All right.
D6.
It is a D6
D6.
that you can add to any roll in the next 10 minutes. You can roll first before you, as if you're not 20 it, you can hold on to it.
Yeah, sweet.
You know we're supposed to get a coffee break.
Oh, I love the rule book.
Yes, rule 76, yes.
You definitely have a hero point if you don't already have one. I love it. I love that he's just, the Hercule is just checking. Why did we never read these? So did you roll your lockpick check, sorry?
No, I was waiting just to make sure if anyone else was doing that, but I'll do that now. Alright, I'm definitely gonna spend my bardic there. Okay, that is 21.
Whoa! I thought it sounded
21
bad.
is enough.
Your roll can drink.
I knew you could do it.
As you were very careful to lift just the right pins in the right order to not push the trap out. It spins. You put some tension on it. You feel it click, and the door opens. You open the door, and
Still got it.
just as you are doing so, you hear there is the sound of what's the word? There is the sound of argumentative voices. Opening this door opens into essentially picture like a what's the upper floor of a hotel called, like the prime suite, the penthouse. Think of a penthouse suite. It's not just a bedroom you're walking into. There's like a sort of a lobby sort of a thing. There's kind of a library. There's books on either sides. There's a staircase that leads up and around in like a curved fashion to the actual main sleeping area, and that's where the altercation sounds seem to be coming from. Now that the door is open, you can hear that it seems to be two male voices. Ilsevel, you recognize one of them as Varsit Greyfall, one of the heads of this Greyfall family, and the dwarf that you saw. You also hear, you also recognize the other one. Most of you would, but you particularly would recognize the other one as Yusin.
What?
What?
Clap my hand.
What?
You clap your hand over your mouth. I'm going to just roll to see if they heard that in the middle of their altercation.
Oh, goody.
As you recognize this and you exclaim, there is a moment of suddenly coming to a stop amongst them, and then you now that
are they within 60 foot?
You can't see them. You can hear them. They potentially would be within. I mean, they would be within 60 feet. You just can't see them. If it's an effect that only
I'm not gonna do it because he's gonna make fun of me if I do.
if it's an effect that only requires them to hear you, it would work theoretically.
No, I have to see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after the exclamation involuntary from you, you hear them stop, and then you hear Yusin say, "I'm done trying to explain it. Now's your time." And then you hear the twang of a crossbow bolt and the cry of exclaim of pain from Varsit.
Oh.
and I will have all of you roll initiative.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Ooh, that is going to be...
Oh no!
Man.
7.
9.
7.
Ooh, well done.
Nice, nice.
We're all getting bad rolls.
It's coming now.
So we got Tariq was a 7. We got Yuka was a 7. We got somebody with a 9. Was it Hercule?
That was Hercule, yeah.
Hercule with a 9. Dag, what'd you get?
I'm trying to grab my tarts back, and I got a 2.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
Okay, guys. I got
Look, they were
21.
expensive.
Hey.
Everyone, thank you, Isabel.
All right.
Someone came to the party.
Okay.
Oh.
So, with the bad guy getting a 16, with Yusin getting Yusin as you think him getting a 16, he is going to be second in the initiative. Isabel, as you hear this crossbow bolt fire out and Vasset cry out in pain, what do? You are down in the opening entryway to this room. It's a relatively large open plan floor in front of you. Lots like this sort of an area where he might take dinner on his own if he wanted to be alone. There's mostly library, and then off to your right there is a semicircular staircase that leads up to an upper mezzanine floor.
I think Isabel is going to try to sneak where she heard the crossbow bolt being fired from to try and sneak up to.
All right. So as a bonus bonus uncanny whatever it's called, as a rogue, you can do your stealth action to try and do so stealthily with your movement.
Mm-hmm.
So roll me a stealth.
Oh, that's 24.
24. That is
What the?
that is a sufficient stealth. You can get to with your movement. Your movement's 30, right? So you can get about a third of the way up the stairs. You can just about get to the point where you can start to see more of the layout of the upper floor. That's your movement and your bonus. You've still got your action. So if you want to get all the way to the top, you can use your dash.
Yeah, I will use my dash to get all the way up to the top.
Cool. Using your dash, you move all the way to the top of the floor. You can see that Vasset has seemingly turned. The two of them are standing on this side of a four-poster bed. There is the usual sort of furniture you'd expect from somebody of this wealth. There's a large standing mirror and a dressing table, all of this sort of thing. You don't really take in too much of the detail, though, because the first thing you see is Yusin standing there with his crossbow aimed at Vasset. Vasset has just taken a crossbow into the left shoulder, and I'll have you make a... just roll me an intelligence check for me, please.
All
Straight intelligence. I suppose you can add proficiency if you're proficient in history.
I am not, so that's going to be a 9.
9. Nothing else strikes you right now, but then Yusin turns to you and you recognize the eyes. These are not Yusin's eyes. These are Steela's eyes. And that's the end of your turn. Yusin, inverted commas, turns to you and says, "Oh, well, this saves me a trip. You're next." Cocks the crossbow, grabs Vasset by the shoulder, spins him around, and sort of pushes him away, and then aims and shoots. You see that he did not shoot him point blank in the chest. He deliberately turned him around and shot him right below the left shoulder blade.
Ooh.
Now make me another intelligence check.
Okay. Okay, why did you roll another 9? That's a 9 still.
9.
You're too, in the moment, too confused exactly as to what's going on. But then multi-attack, right? Yeah, multi-attack, but a crossbow can't do 2 at once. So we'll, after shooting Vasset in the back, turns to you, and the eyes seem to glare and light up with a vengeful radiance. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Uh-oh.
Oh, ew.
Come on.
Let's go.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh,
not a
ladies
good
and gentlemen.
sign.
Sounds like a good thing, right?
That
sounds great.
Natural 1.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
In this moment, the camera zooms into your eyes and seems to stop. Doesn't seem to stop as it shoots through into your memories. We see a moment of you taking on a job for Vasset Greyfall. We see a moment of you approaching the jewelers and then hearing Steela's voice saying, why doesn't he trust me? And you spin around to see that she's joined you on the job despite not being a part of it. And he said, and she says, I can do this. I'm trained for it. Why is he never? And then you try and quickly get her to shut her mouth because you know something that she doesn't. There is a guard right in the next room of this jeweler's shop. He overhears, he bursts in, the whole thing goes south. And as she flees, she gets a crossbow to the left shoulder, which spins her around. The guard reloads, takes another shot. She gets shot in the back. He takes another shot as she falls to the ground. You stop for a moment, look back to see if you can help her. You realize there's nothing you can do. And so you bolt, and you are the last thing she sees as the guard walks up behind and shoots her one more time in the back. That was the last time you saw your best friend Steela, until now. The camera comes back out of your eye and you see her in Yusin's face. You see her eyes behind his eyes. And she says, you're next. And in that moment you are so fearful that you are paralyzed. That is all it's going to do. That is its turn. At the end of the Revenant's turn, it is now Hercule. Hercule, you are down the bottom. You have heard another tung of a crossbow bolt. What are you going to do?
I think just double move. I don't think I'm nearly close enough, and my walking speed is 15, so I'm going to go 30.
All right. You have a 15 walking speed?
Yeah, I just double checked. I thought it was 20, but no, I think my armor's too heavy.
Oh, right. I was like, I don't know anybody that's little like.
Fear not! I'm coming!
As we zoom back to the start of this, when you were chasing down a kid through the streets, it makes that even more impressive that you managed to spear tackle that kid. As you double move with your dash, you manage to get just about up the top of the stairs. You're about 10 feet shy of Isabel, as you can just about take in the surroundings and what we've described so far. At the end of your turn, the Revenant is going to take a legendary action. She is going to take the dash action as a legendary, and she's going to move half her speed towards you, closing the distance between you and Ilsaval, and she gets right up against you. This is when you see them come into view. For you, Hercule, and all the people downstairs who can see her, the rest of you just see Yusin. None of you are seeing anything else behind the eyes. What you are seeing is a large hole in his back when he turns and lots of blood.
Oh.
It seems like he is moving, animated, despite his wounds. That was his legendary action. After Hercule's turn, it is going to be Yuka's turn. Yuka and Tarika going simultaneously, so you can. If you tell me something you want to do, like together, like a mission, then you might get some sort of bonuses to it.
Yuka wants to. This is clearly not a good thing in the world, and so in her head she's like, not good, eradicate. So she goes up and runs all the way up, and she uses her spear to.
All right, what's your movement speed?
40 feet.
40, because it's a monk, yo.
Yeah.
All right. So you run. You almost like something that you're going to eventually train to. You know that some of the monks from your monastery can move so fast within themselves they can manipulate the ki of their own body to sort of temporarily shift their own gravitational forces up walls and such.
Yes.
Very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's something that you can get from level 9 as a monk. So you're not quite there yet, but you've seen them do it. You almost get to that point. You run up the stairs with such furiosity that the first few steps go up onto the wall, and then down up the stairs. You manage to get to the top of the stairs easily, right up next to her, and you've got your action and bonus left.
As an action, I use my spear, and I get the step and flunk right at it.
Make an attack roll. Come on, Yuka!
Woo! I'm gonna use a hero point just to reroll that one. That was ridiculous. Okay, 12 plus 2. Is that right? Because
you must be better than 2.
2 plus.
You must be plus 5.
Oh, plus 5. Sorry, 12 plus
5.
5 equals 17.
17 will be a hit. So roll me that damage.
Damage, and my damage is 1d6.
Yep, 1d6 plus your dex modifier.
Oh, 1 plus 3, 4.
4 points of damage.
With my bonus actions, I'm going to use Flurry of Blows, and then I'm just going to two unarmed strikes, and we'll just go 1, 2.
1, 2.
And with that one, I'm also going to make it I'm gonna try and knock him prone.
Wonderful. All right.
So dexterity saving throw for this person.
If you succeed, right?
If I succeed.
If she succeeds,
Yeah.
she has to hit first.
Good. All right. Roll me that hit of the first of the flurries.
Natural 20.
Natural 20!
Let me just check.
Woo!
I think that'll hit.
Yeah, okay. So she goes.
Yeah, that'll All right. And in my games, I use something that I call brutal criticals,
Ooh, okay.
which means that you max out what you could have possibly rolled, and then you roll on top of it.
What does that mean?
So what you could have rolled with your unarmed strike
Yes.
is a D, at your level, I think it's a D4 as a monk.
Yep.
So instead of rolling it, you just max it, so it's 4.
4.
Four
Okay.
plus your modifier, and then you roll a D4.
4 plus my modifier of 3.
Yep, so 7 plus a
Seven.
D4.
Plus a D. What?
Yeah,
God,
but-
maths.
Yeah. Just
4.
Another 4, so you maxed it. So 11 points. So you did 7, was it, with the spear?
7 with a.
7
Oh, no,
with a
not
spear.
7. Oh,
yeah. 7
Yes,
with the
seven with the
spear,
spear.
11.
And then 11 with a punch in the
Yes,
face.
boom.
So you punch in the face for like another 50% more than your spear can do.
There we
Wow.
go.
So that's the training of a monk, man.
Yep.
So you reach out, you stab across the side. You can see that as you cut, it seems to split the skin and some muscle within, and no blood comes out.
Okay.
It seems like this very pale Yusin has lost most of the blood in his body anyway. Nice.
Ja.
So cutting that across, what is it? Is it a punch or is it an uppercut? Is it a
It's
headbutt?
going one. Oh, it's actually going to be an uppercut.
Uppercut. You
Oh,
crack
right in
him
the
right at the elbow instead, even. Knocks his head right back. You hear and feel some of the teeth crack.
Yeah.
That was a lot of damage, but he's still standing. That's when you want to make the dex against being knocked
Yes.
prone.
Yes.
I got a nat 20 on that, so he
Ah!
stays on his feet. He just takes one step back and then just kind of rights his face and looks towards you. You have the second of your flurry of
Second
blows.
attack.
And then with that, I'm gonna from here, boom, straight into the nose.
Right into the nose. Roll me that attack.
19.
All right, 19 plus tough will hit. Roll me that damage. D4 plus D4 plus 3.
1 plus 3 equals 4.
All right.
You either get minimum or maximum.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
No,
Nothing
for
in
me.
between. So crack, you feel the cartilage of his nose break beneath your hand. Does not seem to have any effect on the way that he looks. His eyes kind of look towards you and then look straight back to your paralyzed friend, who just seems to be stopped in fear at the top of the stairs.
And I was like, you good?
All right, with your second flurry of blows hitting, you can impose another attempt to either knock him prone, push him away, or remove his reactions.
I'm going to try knock it prone.
Knock him prone, dexterity save from him, 14 plus stuff will meet. Yeah, that's going to be a dirty 20.
Oh, all right, fine.
All right, that is your turn. Bonus action hit moves. Yep, that's everything you
Yep.
can do, which makes Takir, sorry.
Takir goes, shouts out, Yusin! Runs forward. I've got my sword out.
You do.
I'll take my sword out as my bonus action, anyway. And basically, I'm just running up. The stairs are pretty full now, aren't they?
Yeah. Top of the stairs is pretty full. I'm going to say that with your two friends now at the top of the stairs, actually, yeah, with two friends at the top of the stairs and Hercule just a little bit behind, the top of the stairs is pretty much full.
Right. I would like to try.
There is like an open plan kind of a banister situation, so if you wanted to try and get
That's
past.
exactly what I was going to say. I'm going to try to say, Yusin, what are you doing? And I'm going to try to vault myself onto the banister to
Awesome.
To the, you know what I mean?
love
Like
it.
off the angle to get
love it.
to the other side.
So, because you could get there with movement alone, just passing through allies' stuff, I'm not going to make you roll unless you want an advantage of some kind from doing something cool. So you could have theoretically just passed through the spaces of your allies and got there, but that's boring. You wanted to do something acrobatic.
I wanted so
I'm
that
not
I
going to
can
penalize that unless you want an advantage, like an advantage on your attack or something.
Yes, I want to ideally be able to get so that I'm behind him, so that he's surrounded, so that I can. That's what I want.
All right, then yes, I will have you roll an acrobatics check.
Ooh.
I will use my hero point now,
Nice.
and I get a 15.
15. 15 is sufficient. You manage to leap yourself up and onto the banister, and then from there jump across onto the mezzanine area behind Yusin. You step out to the side. You can see that Yusin he seems cognizant. He seems sentient, but does not seem like the man you once knew. He's holding
Something weird
himself
is
that
going
way.
on.
He's definitely shouldn't be moving around with this much wound and the lack of blood. But that was your movement, and I'll say a bonus action just to get across there. You've got an action left.
I want to try to disarm him.
All right. So this is going to be a contested grapple check. You're going to reach out and try and. Are you doing it with your sword, like try and flick, or are you trying to grab and pull?
I don't want to use my sword in case I hit him because I'm still. Yeah. So it'll just be strength.
All right. So contested check there.
Just strength bonus is all right.
Just straight.
No proficiency.
Friend, I think. Being that he is in a fighting kind of a mood and he's getting his blades and things out ready to fight, I'm going to say that it's not not going to get to add your proficiency.
That's
in this
fine.
moment.
14.
No. 14. 14, however, is sufficient just because he rolled a 13. So as a contested thing, he had his crossbow. He walked over and what do you do? Do you just grab him by the wrist and wrench?
Exactly. Grab, twist to try to.
You grab, you twist, and you're used to creatures dropping out of the pain of the ow my joints. The pain doesn't do it, just the actual like physics of the fulcrum point of his thumb just can't hold it anymore. So it drops, but not because of pain.
Okay, and that's me done.
His crossbow drops to the ground. That's you done. It is now, I believe, Roswin, is that right? Yes, Roswin.
Lucky laugh.
Oh, sorry, after Takir's turn, he is going to take another of his legendary actions.
Oh.
He is going to make one melee attack. He now does no longer have his weapon in hand. He is going to, he, she, they, the Revenant, is going to use the swipe attack. One melee attack, but it is at disadvantage because it's kind of a clumsy strike. It's just going to strike out with a sort of a backhand move at you, Takir. With disadvantage, that's going to be a 15.
That is what he needed, or it
15,
needed. I'm a 15.
So that is just 1 plus its strength mod, which is just going to be 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
Yusin, what? I'm really confused.
It says, Yusin isn't here right now. I just needed something strong. Then it's Roswin.
All right.
Come on, Roswin.
So Roswin is going to start up the stairs. As he does, he begins to chant in a deep elven voice. And as he's rising up the stairs, you see, before you see Roswin, you see like just this pile of pies just start.
So the camera sees the cameras are up above where all of the action is, and then emerging up the staircase is this pile of pies, and then Roswin from behind. Love it.
Yeah, and he's stepping with confidence too. Like his eyes are just straight.
I'm gonna make fan
and he
quick.
just rolls.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. And as I'm doing that, I want to cast Healing Words as a bonus action on the guy who was shot with the crossbow, or whatever his name was.
Vasset.
Bassett, yep. So I'm gonna Healing Words that dude for the crossbow bolt in his chest.
All right.
Good thinking.
You're gonna roll
And
for it?
that'll heal 6 hit points from him.
Okay. As he's coughing up blood, it may prevent him from his. He was on death saving throws, so it's a good thing you did so. He is conscious, but still has 2 crossbow bolts in his body.
And I would like to use my hero point to approach the bench if I can.
There it is, and we got it. All right. What is it? Give me a petition.
Okay.
You may approach. Let me put on my judge wig.
Okay. So, given that Yuka attempted to trip Yusin over,
Yes.
I would like to petition a reattempt from Yuka to trip over Yusin by using my action in tandem with True Strike in order to very precisely throw these pies in a line behind him so that if tripped over, he would slide out the window and into the courtyard. Like,
So you're
down.
petitioning not only that he gets to trip over, but we turn this entire endeavor into a cartoon with wacky racers logic.
Someone just play Spanish for you right now.
You want to turn this into a Wile E. Coyote cartoon with your hero point. I will not allow for that much, but I will come to a compromise in that I will allow you to use your action and True Strike because you spent your cantrip on taking the world's garbagest spell. I will allow you to do that and grant grant Yuka advantage on her next attempt to trip him over.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. All right, so that's your movement, your action, bonus action for anything?
I healed.
Oh, you healed as a healing word, that's right. Wonderful. It is going to take its last of the 3 legendary actions after your turn to make a swipe attack at the paralyzed one, Ilsevel.
Could I also stipulate that as I moved up, I would like to get into melee distance and range as well, if he wants, just in case he wants.
What's your armor class? What's your armor rather? You're wearing some sort of paladin armor, right?
Yeah.
Pretty tough. It's already pretty filled up at the top of the stairs. If you were wearing just like no armor or light armor, I might have allowed you to squeeze in between. Chunky sort of armor, you're going to have to be behind the 2 that are on the top of the stairs, Ilsevel and Yuka.
Okay, not a problem.
It is going to use its last legendary action to make an unarmed strike attack. It's pretty good that you disarmed him. However, if the target is a creature against which the Revenant has sworn vengeance, the target takes an extra 4d6 damage.
4d6!
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And because this Revenant is no normal Revenant, but a rogue Revenant from the Assassin's Guild, it also has sneak attack.
Oh.
But only if it has advantage, say for if you're paralyzed.
Uh-oh.
And if you're paralyzed and something hits you,
Can I use my...
if you're paralyzed and something hits you, it's an automatic crit.
Yep.
And we've just heard how I do crits.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
So,
Can
get those healing words.
I spend my hero point to give Robin a reroll?
Oh, yes. All right. Perfect. I love it. So as he goes out to strike you, you try and bolster your resolve. How does Hercule heroically inspire their friend that's about to get...
Duck, you fool!
Wonderful. You get to remake the wisdom saving throw against the paralysis effect.
Ooh.
Okay.
Come on, Robin.
I rolled a 3. I rolled a 3.
That's 3 times better than last time.
Rolled a 4.
300%. Unfortunately, it's just not enough. You see your dead friend, somehow, a friend that you were largely responsible for the death of, in some may argue, somehow behind the eyes of this other dead creature that is now bearing down on you, and it's just not enough. As it goes to smack you in the face, they will have advantage because you are still paralyzed. That's a nat 1.
Nice playing.
That's a nat 1 or an 8.
Oh, wait. I'm going to use Silvery Barbs.
There it is. Silvery Barbs. Okay. All right, as your reaction, Silvery Barbs, the most infuriating new spell addition to the game. How does it look when you Silvery Barb?
I will gyrate my hips and then thrust. That is all.
Angrily.
Angrily. Very angry.
Thrust angrily.
Gyrate your Silvery
That's why
Barb.
it is called Silvery Barbs, because I'm in full plate.
Silvery Barbs, as written, turns advantage into double disadvantage, because as written, you have to roll another d20 and then take the lowest of everything that has been rolled.
What?
So I rolled a 1, a 9, and a 13, so I have to take the net 1.
Okay.
Whoosh, whiffs out, even with the advantage because of the Silvery Barbs, misses your paralyzed friend, not getting 8d6 plus extra in crit, so probably saving her life.
Saves her life.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah, I have 24 HP. I would be dead.
yeah. All right, and then you, as part of Silvery Barbs, this silvery mist in the air is hanging there, and it is ready to grab and give to somebody else as advantage. Who do you choose? Dag, who do you choose to give the advantage to from the Silvery Barbs?
That depends who's impressed by it.
All of us.
Which of you is most impressed by the gyrating angrily?
You know what? Just because I feel like they don't get to spend enough time in the player seat, Vahid can have my
All right, so you have advantage.
That's so sweet.
Advantage on the next ability check or attack roll you make. That is all of the legendary actions. Back to the top of the round with Ilseval. Ilseval, you are paralyzed. Paralyzed with fear of your friend. You are paralyzed until the Revenant deals damage to it, so if they had have hit you, you would have no longer been paralyzed. However, although it did save your life, it also did not knock out the paralysis. I'll say make me another wisdom save, just because it's no fun to miss your turn. So give me another wisdom save.
Come on.
Different dog.
Different dogs.
There we go. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, all right.
We actually have a dice cleaning
Yeah,
cleaning
emote.
ritual. Yeah.
Now
Oh, this is an
it's turned
emote
into
for
an
it.
emote
Like a
now.
very
One in the
small
chat
ball
using it.
polisher.
All right, so you have succeeded your paralysis against your friend. I will say that you, because I'm kind of giving you this, I'm going to say you don't have your movement or your bonus action, but you can take an action on your turn.
I would love to do that, thank you. I would love to make an attack with my rapier.
All right, your rapier comes out. You thrust forwards. We now have 3-on-1, which in my rules is the surrounded condition, giving you advantage on the attack.
Nice.
Haha, that's wonderful for my rogue as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh! So we have dice from that have custom made that have dork tails for the nat 20, and one of my dice came up dork tails. That is a natural 20.
Yeah. Everything's coming up Dorktails. All right, as you crit with your sneak attack, you get to max out everything you would have rolled, including the sneak attack,
Oh god.
and then
my
roll
gosh.
it as if it was a normal attack on top of that.
Ah, great. Okay, so I have 2d6 at this point for my snack attack. Plus rapier is the 8,
Snack
so
attack.
that's 16 plus.
He may
That's
be able to
12
survive
to
this,
save it.
I think.
So we start my 20, and then I'll roll.
So is it the sneak attack again as well?
Yes, everything that you would have normally rolled on the attack, you roll that on top
That
of
is-
the max. That's how I do
It's-
crits.
That is
It's
That is brutal.
It's called brutal criticals. It came about
know.
from me. It came about from me playing the game and being like, "Oh, I crit! I get to roll 2d6 instead of 1," and then I roll 2 1s, and I'm like, "That's worse than if I'd have just rolled well on a single attack."
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like a crit, so I was like, I wanted my crits to always do the minimum of what you could have drawn anyway, and then you're guaranteed to do more than that. So it's fantastic to feel like heroic when you're doing a crit. It's really not good
But-
when you're the receiving end of it.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
Checking notes. Taking notes on this.
All right, so all total in with the modifier, that's going to be a nice even 30 points of damage.
Ooh.
Very nice indeed. 30 points of damage takes it to looking. Well, I was going to say looking wounded. So it's already looking very
It's pretty-
wounded,
I don't know, dead
given that it has a hole in its abdomen. So the rapier comes out. Where were you aiming with this critical hit? Was it right through the throat, through the chest?
I think, yeah, probably chest. 'Cause
Through the
that's
chest.
Probably a good height.
I'm ready.
'cause-
Right through the chest. Takia, on the other side of where the hole is already that has been stabbed in and hit the heart, comes a rapier piercing through and almost striking you. She looks down and says, "No, it wasn't like that. It was a crossbow, remember?" And it seems like it hurt her. It seems like she's definitely going to have a harder time keeping a hold of this body that she's somehow animating, but it did not take her down.
Ooh.
She is going to use her reaction to that to uncanny dodge it. As she is a rogue, she can do so. So she is going to take, that's going to be 15 instead, taking her to that. Cool. That's your turn, because you shook the paralysis of her. It is now going to be back to her turn. She gets all of her legendary actions back. She is going to... You see that the wound in the back starts to stitch up a little bit as she regains some amount of hit points.
I say, by Medora.
You see she regains some amount of hit points. She can't do that one again because you're now immune to the vengeful glare. Oh, she couldn't try it on some. Nah, she doesn't. She's not vengeful against anybody else. She is going to instead use her multi-attack on you, Ilseval.
Uh-oh, Ilsevel's under the pump.
Yep, she wants to take you down. She's vengeful against you and all those who wronged her, including the Greyfall family. She just took Yusin, it seems, because she wanted a stronger body than that of Ryan. She needed somebody bigger and stronger and hardier. And he was there. So, she is going to draw out her sword. It's a long sword, and she's going to take an attack at you. She's going to take 2 attacks at you. We'll just roll them both simultaneously. She didn't have a disadvantage for any reason? Nobody did anything funky to her?
No.
Cool, so one of them is going to be a... where is it? One of them is going to be a 14 to hit.
That's my armor class.
So that just hits, and the other one was a 14 on the dice plus stuff. So both of them will hit.
All right.
She will deal with the first one 1d8 plus 3 plus an extra 4d6 because you are the target of her vengeful strike.
Gosh, she's really got it in for you.
Yeah. You went. Oh, thankfully that was garbage rolls. So 1, 2, 4, and then 6 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13 points of damage.
Wow.
What was your total maximum?
I have 24.
24.
For my
13 is
total
more than
maximum.
half of 24, so I'm going to use what I use as my massive damage rules. If you ever do more than half of a person's damage in one single strike, you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or you may suffer further effects as your body goes into shock. So I need a con save from you, DC 15.
All right. That is a 19.
19, you succeed. You suffer no extra effects from it until she hits you with the second strike. Thankfully, she doesn't have a sneak attack, so she's not adding an extra 4d6 on top of this. She strikes you. Both of them hit, didn't they? Yeah. Oh, this one's better. That is 8 and 6 is 14. That's another 17. That's 2 is 19. 19 plus 3 is 21. 19 plus 2 is 21. Yeah. 21 points of damage, which takes you to 0, but and the worst thing that can happen from the massive damage thing is you drop to 0 anyway. So no need for the extra con save. So strikes through once, strikes through twice, and you drop to the ground. You are unconscious but not dead.
Oh boy.
You see your ally starting to bleed out though as she turns her attention on the rest of you and she kind of scans over each of you and says, "My beef isn't with any of you." And then she turns to you and there's almost like a pause of recognition, and then she just kind of dismisses it. She's going to leave your melee range. The two of you are in melee
Opportunity
with her.
attack.
You can take an opportunity attack.
I don't think so, Yusin.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
Oh.
With my spear, Yuka just tries to go for a slash all the way, like
Right across the
over
back.
here,
Awesome. Love
with
it.
my 18.
18.
You got more than with your spear. You get a +5.
Oh, yeah, plus 5.
23 hit.
Vahid, are you using your advantage?
Yeah, I was gonna say because you've got True Strike.
True strike.
I said advantage on trying to trip him up.
I'll do that.
I'll allow it.
I'll do that
Okay.
later, though.
All right.
I want to try it on later.
You
but
can keep that hold of that for when you try and trip. Then you had advantage from the silvery barbs.
Oh, I do. That's why I have advantage from the silvery barbs. Thanks for the silvery barbs. Yeah.
5 points of damage plus
5 points of damage.
plus 3.
Yeah, plus your 3. So 8 points of damage.
16 to hit.
16 hits.
Okay, short sword. 5.
5 points of damage.
Yeah, 5 points.
All right. He was expecting yours to be larger, so he didn't uncanny dodge yours. He'll uncanny dodge yours instead. So it'll still save him 3. All right. So halved rounded up. I round up in my games because that's how maths works. And so 3, so 38. Cool. Still at this point, starting to look wounded. Starting to look like. Oh, sorry, they'd already done that on the last turn. Technically, started to look wounded then. Leaves your melee range though, stays standing, reaches down, grabs the crossbow off of the ground, walks over to Varsit and starts to load it up again. That's all they can do on their turn though. Forgot cunning action, disengage. They forgot it, missed abilities.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Moved on.
That was Baddie's turn. Hercule, you're up.
Come on, Hercule.
Let's go.
All right, am I within 15 feet at this point, or have they moved beyond that?
The bad guys moved more than 15 feet away. You are within 10 feet of your fallen ally at the top of the stairs. Did you fall? I'm going to use my direction dice. I've got a D8 that's got directions written on it.
Oh.
I've got it somewhere else. I'm just going to go odds and evens to see if you fell forwards onto the mezzanine or fell backwards down the stairs. Odds and evens, you fell forwards. So you did not fall down the stairs onto Hercule. Hercule,
Okay.
your friend has just been slashed and fallen forwards, giving you space to actually get up onto the landing if you need.
Sounds good. I guess he is going to race forward, and this looks like is about to assassinate someone on the floor.
Correct.
So I'm going to take a dash action to kind of interpose myself. If
Excellent. Yes, you managed to duck through the legs and out into the other side of what was once Yusin. That's your action, but you are now between him and the whatchamacallit. You have your action.
And I'd like to use my action surge.
Wonderful.
To feel the tiny sting of small justice, and take a stab, and that is a. Sorry, it's hard to read this one because it's spotted. I believe that's a 17.
17 hits. Roll damage.
Then that is with the rapier. That is 13 piercing.
13. Ooh,
Youch.
nice. Wish I'd saved my uncanny dodge for that.
Not mine.
Dueling style, poke.
Excellent. Nothing they can do about that. You stab up, and it's rapier, you say?
Yes.
And from your vantage point, up through the lower abdomen into where the guts would be, and then out.
Stop now, or I'll move it lower.
Excellent. After your, is that everything you can do? That was action.
That is literally that is all I can
You've got
do.
a bonus action if there's anything you want to do.
I don't think I can do anything with a bonus action.
All right.
Yet,
With a legendary action, they are going to take the swipe attack at you. With disadvantage, they're going to strike out with their sword down towards you, kind of like in a swatting motion. They have disadvantage on their legendary attacks to make them not too overpowered. That's still going to be pretty good. That is a 15.
misses.
Yeah,
Ooh.
fighters, yo.
You're a tank. 18 armor class.
Yay.
Yeah, the sword glances off of you. That was their legendary action, and it is done. There's, I believe, we're down to the pair of you now, aren't we? Yes.
Yes.
Yuka and Takia.
Yuka sees that it's getting away from her. So what she does is she runs down and jumps down the stairs to try and
Ooh.
stab it right in the back.
I love it. They are
Yep.
going further into the mezzanine, so you're not having to jump downstairs.
Oh, okay, we're going upstairs.
If I had stairs, I would have made this, but I knew that the map was going to be way too complicated to.
So they're not going
downstairs,
downstairs, they're going that way.
They're going back to the guy that they initially shot and then was
okay.
healing wounded, so they want to finish the job.
Yuka's still gonna run and still jump and then do it as a.
I love it.
14 plus 5
Hits.
hits. All right. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then use my flurry of blows again. Woohoo.
Wow, use those key points
Yes,
while
I'm
you've got
going.
them.
And so while she's up in the air, she's going to use her foot and kick off of this thing.
Boom. Love it.
And I'm going to use my true strike to that so that they try to
Ah,
over.
now you're using
prone,
your true
yes.
strike.
There you go. Ooh, 12. Do I plus anything to
Yeah,
12?
you still plus your, yeah.
Still plus the 5, I believe, or something.
5?
Yeah.
All right, 12 plus 5.
It's cool enough that I'll allow to hit. Whatever
Yeah,
it was.
cool. So
It was
I-
close enough. 12 plus something will hit.
17.
Yeah, and then that's 1d4, right?
Yep.
Plus your dex
D4 plus your dex
2
mod.
plus 3, 5.
5 points of
And
damage.
so she's off.
So you jump through the air. The blade comes down right between the shoulder blades,
Yep.
right underneath the neck,
Yeah.
and sticks you in. And then just as you're kind of swinging in, you use that momentum,
Yep.
stick the foot between the shoulder blades, push it off.
Yeah.
Boom! You feel something crack in the shoulder blades as you do that damage to it.
Yep. And if she falls, she goes to the ground and she does a sweep.
And you try and
With
knock
her
him
leg
prone.
sweep.
Aha!
Unfortunately, that's a 23 to succeed on the dex. Yusin being military trained was very good at with their physical stats, which is why they chose Yusin as the host.
Nice, must be.
That was your first of your 2 attacks there. You've got another one to try and do it.
And then I will do just another a side kick to the
Side
back.
kick, try and crack into the back of the
And whatever,
kneecap.
I'm
Try
going to
and
use
take
my
him
bardic
down.
inspiration for this, or not. 17.
17 plus
already.
stuff will hit. You
Yeah.
guys are rolling well against this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're only getting good rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1d4. Plus 2. Plus 3. 5.
So 5 again.
Yeah.
You guys are damage machines.
Is it possible as... Oh, no, wait, that is my bonus action. Never mind.
It is getting up there now. It is going to... Yeah, I'm going to take the uncanny dodge. It'll only reduce it by 3, but... Wait, have I done that since I... Legendary action, it was Yuka, used it after...
Oh, sorry, I'm just writing wrong. Rose view.
Look at that perfectly.
right in my eyes. Okay.
What are you? Yeah.
I don't think I've used it yet. Forgive me
Yeah.
if I have. It saves itself 3 points because every little will help at this point. You're trying to knock it prone with that second flurry of blows?
Yes.
It's got to fail eventually, right? With a 3, it will. Yes. So
Yeah.
so eventually, you stab it, you kick off, you try and sweep the legs. It encounters too much resistance. So then you smack right in the back of the kneecap and it buckles.
Yeah.
The
boy.
Revenant goes down with a clunk onto the ground.
Yes. And then she says, "You are unnatural to this world, therefore you must perish." And she stands up.
Excellent. As you do so, that's the end of your turn.
Yes.
It's going to use one of its legendary actions to use the run to move up to half her speed, which is exactly what she needs to stand up again. Stands back up again and now has her attention on you.
Uh-oh.
Then it's Takir.
Okay, burst in, running in, using action surge to do a double attack.
You
Double
run
attack.
right at your once friend, no longer.
No.
Just as he's getting back up off the ground, you arrive there.
Short sword. I'm a longbow specialist, but it's just too close.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No problem. That's good. That's good. Short sword. First blow.
Does he count as surrounded for advantage like before?
Currently, yes, there's now 3-on-1, so you now have advantage on any melee.
Oh, thank you, because I got a terrible roll. That's a much better one. 21
hits.
with a short sword. 8 hit points. Second attack. 14. Oh, advantage.
Yeah, that's surrounded.
21 again. And 6.
6 points.
Another 6.
All right.
Wow. This thing's still up?
You can describe how you finish your once friend.
Yes.
Okay, so the first blow was just a vicious slack, and then seeing that it's weakened,
It struck it right in the shoulder blade and cut a huge, deep gash down and broke through the clavicle and into the chest cavity a little. It just turned its head towards you.
So then, with my sword in it, I grab its collar, pull it out and say, "Get out of my friend!"
And just you withdraw and shove even further in a sawing motion. It cuts even further into the chest, and then you see the light of it leave the eyes. Yusin goes back into the corpse. You suddenly have dead weight in your hand as it crumples down to the ground, and then you see this kind of ethereal nature seem to leave its face, seem to leave its essence, and just kind of hang there.
And then I'll just collapse down and let my sword clatter on the floor next to me.
All right. As it clatters down next to you, Roswin, you didn't get a final turn in that last initiative. So is there anything you want to do?
Now you gave me a hero point, but I had one from the start of the game. I would like to approach the bench a second time, if I may.
You may approach.
Because I have learned very basic level 1 paladin stuff, would like to see the ethereal figure and holding onto the fallen body of my comrade who had been rendered unconscious, Isvil.
And we'll be making death saving throws unless somebody stabilizes or heals.
We'll get there. But I would like to perform, if I may, a rite of, I guess, exorcism or passage, trying to lay this spirit to rest and basically convince it to shove off its mortal coil and go to the beyond.
I will say that you can make me a nature check or arcana, your choice.
Yep. I cast Cure Light Wounds because I got a 2 on my either. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you had no idea how to do what you were trying to do. If maybe you hadn't failed your paladin exam, you might know some things about how to banish evil creatures and spirits. But
I just turn over to
part
it
of your
and say,
character,
right,
you don't know the
come
first
on,
thing
boys.
about being a paladin, so no.
All right, I turn and I say it almost sounds like I'm saying a funeral dirge as I lay my hands and cover her eyes, but as I cover her eyes, I'm casting.
Just in case, it's what you learned from being a terrible paladin is that if you make it sound like you're just giving last rites, then if you screw up this curing, then it's like, oh, I wasn't trying to cure. I swear, I was just giving last rites.
Yeah, exactly. But as I close her eyes, she heals 7 hit points.
All right, is this from cure wounds or lay on hands?
Cure wounds.
Cure wounds. Okay, so you cure as you were on death's door. You start to come round because of the light given to you.
You see a look of phew,
As you come round, Ilseval, what do you do? You're on the ground. The last thing you saw was your friend in some form taking her vengeance on you.
I think Isabel's gonna look around in a panic for her. So, because that was the last thing she says. She's gonna wake up and go.
You look towards the fallen body of Yusin, and the ethereal kind of wispy nature, almost like the dust mites that you see in a shard of light coming through the window. You can see it kind of just hanging there. And to your eye, to nobody else's, but to your eye, it kind of takes the vague outline and silhouette of Steela.
She's gonna kind of look and be like, Steela, you were not meant... you weren't supposed to be there. You weren't supposed to die. I am sorry.
But I did die. You hear an ethereal voice in your mind. I did die. I died because of you. I died because of him. She looks down at Vasset, who's kind of like just still coming around on the floor. And I will have my vengeance. And as she says this, the soul goes back into the body. And as I mentioned, it regenerates. And the stat block specifically says they will die only if certain circumstances. And those circumstances have not happened. As Steela the Revenant heals 10 hit points, stands back to its feet, and re-enters initiative order, it will use its multi-attack, walking over to you, Ilseval. It will make 2 weapon attacks with the longsword.
Seeing as I'm carrying Isabel, can I like kind of clutch, like kind of cover her body with my own and take the hits instead?
You didn't use your hero point for the other thing, did you? Because you screwed it up. So I will allow it. Yeah, you can.
I'll take it.
You can dive in front, as it were, bodyguard style. And
I'll be singing that too. That's actually what
you'll be singing that for one of them because that was a nat 20.
Oh.
Damn it, I'm out of spells. Okay, yep, carry on.
Okay.
We needed you to know the religion from the paladin. We're in trouble.
I will have each of you, as you see this thing get back up again, I'll have each of you make a history check as I roll all this damage on Dag. You are not its sworn vengeance thing. Did it have advantage on you? Yes, you said you were on the ground, right? Helping her up. So
yep.
It would have a prone advantage, so it does get a sneak attack on you as well.
I inform everyone with my final words. Delete my browser history.
All right. So the max of a D8 and 4D6 is 24, 32. 32 plus 33, so 35 plus 2 6s and a 5 and a 7.
Oh no.
It's enough to knock you out. So 35, 40, 52, 59. 62 points of damage. Does that take you below your...
That is triple my max hit points from full health.
All right. As it straight up kills you, the sword coming whipping through, taking you past death saving throws and into just outright dead. To the point where there is no recovery unless somebody has revivification magic, which at your level and in this low magic setting is not going to happen. We say goodbye in the moments. Roswin, in the moments of your last breaths, what is the last thing? What is the last thing you say, see, do, experience, think about?
Okay. Roswin, as life begins to fade from his view, you kind of see that he contemplates all of the actions that he has taken in life. His entrance to the exam, his time spent learning his art and his craft. He thinks about the small child, and in his final breath, as he sees this like kind of huge gaping wound just sort of erupt in the center of his body, he takes his hand and in the ground just draws a small fish, and then the hand goes still.
Oh. I mean, no, don't laugh.
So black and white.
Don't laugh.
Wonderful. And you are no more, as Roswin regrets failing the paladin exam and living a different life.
Man, we needed his religion knowledge.
As the rest of you saw this getting to the thing, I asked for a history check. What did everybody get?
19!
13.
Ilseval?
11.
11, and Hercule?
Sorry, I didn't hear you ask. That is going to be a 14 on the die, which becomes a... Sorry, D&D Beyond. What was it? 16.
Okay. with the 16 and the 19, the two of you thinking about how this thing has gotten back up again, you see that Yusin has died. Ryan embodied took his own soul, a soul that was, well, not his own soul, Ryan was also a vessel, took the vessel that was Ryan and somehow transferred him from one to the other in order to raise Yusin again and then walk around with his new host. Oh. Something happened before Ryan did that in order to not simply re-inhabit the same body that it was leaving. Ryan seemed to have done something to himself in order to prevent the regeneration, to prevent the re-inhabitation of the same body. The two of you realize fire damage might prevent the rejuvenation, the regeneration. If you can deal fire damage to this creature and then take it to 0, there's a chance that it will not then re-inhabit its body.
Burning down the house!
Fire!
So that was the first of 2 attacks, as it has multi-attack. It got a net 20 and did a bunch of damage. Then the second of 2 attacks is on you, Ilseval, and it has advantage because you are prone on the ground, having just come round and looked across to your friend. You just see this paladin lie down on top of you, dead. I will give you half cover underneath the paladin's body as she stabs down towards you.
Still giving bonuses.
Good, with advantage. That was a 2 and a 9. 9 plus 6 to hit. That is a 15.
It hits.
15 still hits. Unfortunately, this is going to hurt a lot. Because it had advantage, it gets this... Oh, it used its sneak attack on Dag, so it doesn't get sneak attack on you. It uses its vengeful nature, though. So that's just going to be this plus 3. That's 1, 2, that's 10, 14 plus 3 is 17 points of damage, which is more than you were healed for. Taking you back down to unconscious, but not dead. You are dying. As 2 of your friends are out of the battle, that is its turn. We are back to Hercule.
Come on, Hercule.
What do we do?
I shall lunge at its back, and is there anything flammable around here?
Having a glance around the room, you can, because you're in a fight situation, I'll say that glancing around the room will be, unless you can persuade me otherwise, I'll make it your action to make a perception check.
Well, you said that it was the evening right now, so light sources would be very easily visible.
Correct, well done. Yes, in that case, yes, very well persuaded. Yes, you can easily see. You're in the bedroom. There is a lantern nearby that is a what do they call the ones? A hooded lantern. You could easily smash that, and that would, with the oil inside of it, it would definitely make fire.
That sounds great. I'm gonna smash. It's smashing time.
Smashing.
So I'm gonna grab it. Smashing.
Smash and grab.
All right,
You rush over, you reach out with your blade, you grab the thing off of the wall. You're much too small to reach it. Otherwise, you reach up with your blade tip. You grab the lantern and you throw it down. You're going to throw it at the creature.
Yeah, I am.
Excellent. Make a ranged attack with an improvised weapon. You're not proficient in improvised weapons, so it's just your dexterity modifier.
Okay, so that's a 15.
15. 15 is exactly what you needed.
Good work.
Oh, thank God.
You did not want to miss that one, otherwise your friends who are all standing around might have also taken fire. Bam! As it slams into the back, this thing takes fire. It takes 3 points of fire damage, and you see it shrieks, and in the first time that you've seen this Yusin body actually seem to suffer pain. Wonderful. All right, it is still standing, however. It regenerated more than that on the start of its turn. That's going to be your turn unless you've got anything you can do as a bonus action.
Go get him!
Go get him! You try and take on the role of the inspiring one of the team now that your inspirer is dead.
Oh.
All right, Yuka and Takir.
Okay, Yuka sees what everyone's trying to do, and she uses her spear and just tries to her foot / leg down so that the thing doesn't move away from the fire.
Oh, right down into the foot of the... Whoopsie daisy.
Don't break it.
Stab the spear down into the toes of Yusin. Go for it.
Ooh, 3 plus... I didn't use my bardic inspiration earlier, so can I add that?
Oh, that's still within, yeah. That's still within.
Okay, 6 plus 5.
6 plus 5 is an 11. 11's not quite enough, unfortunately.
Right. 11 doesn't work.
As you strike down... It hits the...
I did not break a prop.
Definitely not.
Oh, so she... it misses.
Definitely not caught on camera.
No. So she just hits the ground instead. But I'll still use a key point.
How many key points you got? Is this your last one?
Last one.
Nice one.
Right, and while it's in the ground, I just try and use that as like a what's it called, like a thing, and then I sweep both my feet up and just go.
Oh yeah, you're using it as like a stabilizer to bring
and
yourself
just
off the
kick.
ground. Nice, I
Do
love
it.
it. I love it.
11
11 plus
3.
stuff will hit.
Okay. Oh, that's the reach. 2 plus 3.
Excellent.
Alright. And then another one, 15.
15 plus stuff hits.
And then and this one I'm gonna try and just 1 plus 3, 4 damage.
Describe it.
And so she stabs the ground. She lifts herself up, and it's like she's almost flying. All right, and through the flames, her left foot, doof, right in the face, and a bit of flame goes. Right foot, even more so, and then she kind of spins around her spear and then lands again.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're gonna take 2 points of fire damage from connecting with her while she's on fire.
That's okay. I've done through worse in my discipline times. I've had to kneel on dry
Slam
rice.
down, and with that second one, the body of Yusin collapses once again, and the soul, as it leaves the body this time, it seems to be caught up in the flame. It seems like it mingles with the soot that is coming from this burning oil, and you can all hear this sort of ethereal, and then it just dissipates into the mist, into the ether.
Yes. And she's breathing hard, and then she feels a sense of accomplishment and honor and pride restored, and she knows that this was the right thing to do, even though we did not break into a thing, but yes, this is for the greater good.
All right, we are still in initiative order because you do have a dying friend.
That's
so there is still death saves to be made until they stabilize or heal. Takia, you're up.
Hey, look, I just want to be definitely sure.
Yep.
We've seen it come up before. There's still a little bit of flame.
It's definitely still on
Okay,
fire.
I want to feed it. I'm going to blankets
Feed that
off. Blankets
flame.
off
Yeah.
the bed. Let's get that fire going.
Starts to catch at the sides. Once the bedroll starts to catch, you start to it lead more onto it so as to not smother the fire immediately.
Yeah, but my purpose is not to set the building on fire.
Just to make
Okay, I want to have a
localized fire
contained,
here.
localized fire.
All right.
If Vahid was
this
the
is a-
DM, he
this
would
is
make
a-
the place.
Burn the
This is
city down.
I was listening up for particular words being used. This is going to be a survival check because it's to do with like how well you can
Sure.
control a fire, just like you do with campfires and
Excellent.
short rests.
And I have no training in that, but I do have a wisdom natural 1.
All right, you grab the thing and you kind of throw it on, and you're like, it's going to be contained, and then very quickly it across the blanket and onto the curtains beside.
Oh goodness!
All right, Roswin, you are deceased, but give me a flashback of a memory that Roswin had at some point during the life. As the life flashed before your eyes as you were dying, what was a memory that flashed before your eyes?
The memory that flashes before Roswin's eyes is being in being at the training academy with Sir Carlton standing over, like really broad-shouldered as Roswin is just lying on the floor, beaten, battered, and feeling very, very defeated. As he does so, he looks up at Carlton, who's saying, "Is that all you've got?" And Roswin's saying, No, I have more to give. I promise I do."
Then give it.
He rises to his feet. His fist kind of clutches onto the hilt of his sword, which is kind of shaken. You can kind of see the leather straps on the pommel are starting to tear and rip. And as he stands, he belts out a power chord, the first song that he actually ever embraced, coming from a guttural place inside of him, which created this wave of healing energy and allowed him to clutch onto the sword and go one final round. But with a merciless stroke, Sir Carlton has the sword ready to.
It disarms you. Disarms you with a strike of his, and then says, "You rely too heavily on that stupid music magic. Feel the radiance within you, or you'll never lie. You'll never stand up against the demons." And then we shift to top of the round. Ilseval, you are dying. I need a death saving throw from you, please.
Oh, no.
You got it.
Come on, Isabel.
How do I even?
That's an 18. That's a 16.
18 is one success.
Okay.
What is a memory that flashes before your eyes on your deathbed here?
How do I?
Just a medicine.
Oh, I just made.
So I think it's gonna flash back to the first time that Stilla and Isabel met, which was in a it was kind of one of those like their parents knew each other kind of thing,
Right, yeah.
so they were getting together.
Arranged play date.
Exactly. It was an arranged play date. They were childhood friends. And they both kind of ended up playing pranks on their parents. They were having like tea and they ended up like trying to sneak in and pouring salt into their parents' tea when they weren't looking. And so that's kind of how they first bonded, was stirring trouble from very young ages.
There's a moment we see the two kids kind of like peering around the corner as the parents are taking sips, and then Stila says, "You're so bad," and we realise that you were a bit of a bad influence on her, as she was headed towards a different life before she met you.
Mm-hmm. No guilt though.
Baddie's turn. The baddie is dead, but the fire remains, and so the fire starts to spread up into towards the rafters. It's starting to lick the rafters now. No damage to the structure of the building yet. It's going to take a lot more than a round to do that, but fire spreads quickly. Hercule, it's your turn. Come.
I'm going to try to put the fire out.
Alrighty, how are you going to do that?
I have no idea.
Having been the one to start the fire.
We didn't start the fire. It was always burning.
There it is.
Are there more blankets?
It's not on fire yet. What did you say?
Are there more blankets? Are there more blankets? Perhaps a chamber pot?
This guy's opulent in his wealth, and so he has lots of different blankets of various different thicknesses and grades, and Egyptian cotton, and all the different thread counts, and all sorts of things around the place. There's a blanket box at the end of the bed.
Ooh. There's also several large trays of pies.
Are they flammable pies? Is there a full chamber pot, perhaps, or some other type of liquid?
Percentage check. Let me check.
Surely it's the evening. His servants would have placed his jug of water for the end of the day.
Oh, they drew him a bath.
Water for him in a corner of the room is his washing station. He's got a little basin to wash in and 2 buckets of warm water.
Wow.
I will try to splash some of the water on the fire.
It wastes 1 bucket just like kind of splashing. He doesn't actually get in there. And he doesn't want to use dirty water once he's splashed himself. That's tainted now.
Disgusting.
I mean, obviously.
All right. You run over to that. You run all the way there.
Yes.
You grab 1 bucket, and that's your entire turn because you got such tiny legs. And you're like, "Why am I wearing such heavy armor? Damn it!" From here, you could throw it and have less of a chance of hitting the fire, or you can hold out for another turn and see if and like get right up to it.
Ooh.
So it's on. The risk is on.
I'm gonna risk it. I don't think we have time.
All right.
I'm gonna risk it. Okay, what do I have to roll?
I rolled the percentage check to see if you hit it or not, and I gave it 50% chance. I rolled exactly 50, meaning you just got it. Whoosh, as the fire goes down, you do realize that just as the water leaves the bucket, you realize you're throwing water onto an oil fire, which came from the lantern oil, and so it does extinguish the stuff that was spreading, the stuff that was going along the blanket that you put down.
Aha!
But the body of the animated corpse is still mingling with the water in a very not very nice way, and then starting to sort of like slosh out around. It's not entirely out, but you've definitely helped. Yuka.
Yes, Yuka runs and slides down immediately to where Isabel is, and she tries to tend to her wounds.
Excellent.
Getting the nearest cloths and
It's going to be a medicine check.
Yes, medicine check. 15 plus 2.
You are stabilized as you manage to prevent her from making having to make any death saving throws with your bandages, tearing off cloth.
Yeah.
You grab a piece of cloth, you tear it off, it's on fire, you throw that one aside. Maybe not that one. You cauterize the wound with a flaming cloth and then put a different cloth. Eventually you bandage her up to the point
I'm not losing another teammate today.
Unconscious but stable. Takia. any last chance to put out this fire before it spreads,
I'm
or you can
taking
just leave.
Second bucket of water. I just want to make sure. I think
You rush over
everything's
with
done.
your much better movement. You get there, you grab the water, you
Slosh.
head back down the curtains. The curtains are out. The rug, the blanket is out, and then all that remains is the slowly dying, the quickly dying flames of the oil fire that was originally on the creature.
And then
you can quickly stamp that out without issue, and we are out of initiative as there is no more time-sensitive information happening. You all breathe a sigh of relief. A lung-filled, smoke-filled lung full of relief. As the epilogue of this story becomes how to get out of the Greyfall estate amidst all of the guards and dogs.
And can we find the document?
with a dead friend of yours, and whether or not you can find a document that tells you what in the world happened here on this night. But that is a story for another time. We will leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Thank you to Dice Legends for letting me GM in your world.
So much fun. Thank you, Rob. Woo! Good work. That was great fun.
That was great.
Seems like the guards are going to have to tell the other guards of the city that there's something going on with the dead come alive again, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's
'cause
right.
I think we're
You're
the
probably
only
the ones.
team.
Yeah, the only team that's dealing with this sort of thing,
Yeah,
obviously.
surely not other teammates on the west.
But we lost.
We lost
We
a
lost
good man.
3.
Oh.
We lost 3.
Oh, we lost 3.
True.
We lost
3 gods.
You don't know exactly when Ryan was taken, as it were, when he was compromised, but you know that it was at some point in the not too distant past. However, with Yusin and Roswin falling, the guards are going to be mourning for some time.
Yes. Oh. Wow.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah.
And now we know what was happening in another corner of Aratai.
In
on that
episode
day.
1 of Dice Legends. Watch it now on YouTube.
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, so if you're new to our channel, I noticed we had some raids earlier.
Yes.
Dr. Heels and Minith Gilgalad, thank you for the raids. Really appreciate it. It's great to have you on board. Thanks for all the new follows. Thanks for the new subs, guys. It's really great to have you with us. As Rob mentioned at the beginning, subs are what keeps channels like ours and Dead Aussie Gamers and Dork Tales and who else is here? Robert Hartley
Jr.
Jr. The subs is what keeps our channels going, right?
Yeah.
It's so important. So we really appreciate it. Thanks so much, everyone. While we're doing thanks, we'll talk to our sponsors first. And you would have seen at the bottom of the screen that we've got 4 sponsors that are with us. The first is our friends BD&D, who BD&D. So if you need math rocks, then
These are from BD&D.
you should definitely go there.
My chicken bok dice.
They have got, right? How many pages of dice do they have?
22 pages of dice. Let's go. This is my most recent set. Green. I think it's Troll's Blood from BD&D. Yeah.
Or any of the new books that have come out. I love physical books. I mean,
yeah.
PDFs and things are cool, but I actually really love, and you use physical books too, don't you, Rob? Mm-hmm. So they're really brilliant. We really love them. Next one is Bespoke Boutique, and they make custom-made character journals. And we don't have.
You got them down here, I believe.
Way over there.
Is it this one?
There we go. Yeah.
Sunnies.
Can we show Sully's? That's great.
Not sure.
On a close-up on Rob, and you can open it up. You can see that there's some.
Open it up. I'm gonna read all the notes.
Character sheet on the inside. Yeah. So there we go.
Oh, look at that.
So they have cool character sheets, and so they can do your own designs, but they also have a huge range of really beautiful artwork that you can choose from already. It's really nice work. It feels good, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
right?
Really,
Oh.
I'm like, I want one of these.
Yeah, and beautiful.
And dice scrolls. So this came with it as well, and it attaches to this leather strap, and yeah, you can put all your dice in there. And this one was made for Hakapella, my character from the main campaign, and it feels so nice, good quality too.
That's really cool, really cool. And
I wouldn't hold out hope for yours, Roswin. Yours is probably not coming.
We'll bury it with them.
Fair.
Our third sponsor, Nine Realms Gaming, do really exquisite wood like dice towers, dice trays, hero vaults. It's getting late on my mind. And DM screens, custom design as well, with just incredible top grade wood varieties. Really beautiful. And they're offering a 10% discount for us if you use the code Legenz10 at checkout.
You did it. Well done.
And our final one is the printable dragon, who made the props. Oh, Raylene!
It died for a good cause.
Because the tip is right there. We can duct tape it back, please.
Nothing that a bit of glue can't fix,
I
right?
can't reach it.
So
Got little arms.
The printable dragon they've got a huge range of minis on there that they can print for order on their website. And they can also do your own models, whether they're
Mimics.
All sorts of things. They're brilliant. And they're also offering us this weekend a 10% discount if we use the code Legenz27, because it's a 27-hour streaming marathon, at their checkout. Brilliant. And the last thing we want, so we also need to thank our wonderful tech team, Luca and Jason. Thanks, guys. Thanks. And our moderators, Faye. Thank you, Faye, who's with us today, which is really wonderful. And finally, we want to thank our guests. Thank you to Dead Aussie Gamer. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I mean, Rob was okay, but the rest of you were just killer. No, as always, it's wonderful getting to play with so many amazing content creators. It really does reinforce why I do what I do. Look, speaking of what I do, you can find me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/DeadAussieGamer, as well as all over the place. I'm on Quincy's Tavern. I'm on D&D Live. I'm freaking everywhere. So yeah, that's me. But you can often find me hanging out with this chucklehead right there, I think, if I'm pointing in the right direction, as we do lots of really cool big event games here and there, which we've got one coming up sometime towards the end of the month, don't we? For your birthday.
Oh yeah, that one. I was like, I don't know, maybe. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
we've got.
Let's see Rob pick on my level 20 paladin. Then
Don't challenge me.
I feel like you'll find a way.
And next, want to thank to the two beautiful souls from Dork Tales. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Robin, for joining us.
Woo!
Fantastic. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for staying awake, and I'm sorry that I chucked so much your character-based lore on you, Robin, to be like now improvise scenes from your childhood when you're half asleep at 1 a.m.
It's now 2:30 in the morning for them.
It's only 2:30. It's only 2:30.
That's fine, right?
Goodness.
It's fine. It's great. No, this is a blast. Thank you for inviting us over.
Yeah, like Doug said, it's fantastic to be able to play with other creators literally around the globe. Like, you guys are on the opposite side of the planet, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, head to their Twitch and give them a follow and a sub. Of course, we love you guys. And finally, Rob, who's come down to be with us. Thank you, Rob, for putting all the effort into this.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to go through the series. I've been watching the series anyway, but then to go back to episode 1 and be like, okay, what are some clues and tips and things that are happening in the town, and try and DM in somebody else's world. It's an interesting challenge. Love it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, if you like my stuff today and you want to see more of me DMing, I DM for a comedy group called Viva the Dirt League. You can find us at Viva the Dirt League D&D. We're approaching 300,000 subscribers, so we'd love if you could head over and help us get to that mark. Or you can find me on a DM under my own right at Robert Hartley GM on Twitch and YouTube and all the places.
And you do lots of really interesting content.
Yeah, lots of D&D adjacent stuff, like reading and talking about D&D tips and tricks and stuff, not just actual plays.
Yeah, but you do those too. Yeah.